My stepdad stole my identity and destroyed my credit. Now he's telling me to get over it.
You didn't need that money.
Old stepdaddy needed a new boat, so sorry.
Call me Stepdaddy Robin Hood, because I'm going to take your money for me, the poor.
Stepdaddy Robin.
Improv professionals over here. This is to answer the question, should you cut off friends, family, or partners who damage your livelihood? Great question. It comes from Affectionate Bus 6281. I have never had a reason to check my credit score until a couple of months ago, other than when I got a credit card in 2021. At the time, I had a 745. Good score, by the way.
Hey, I don't know what I have, actually.
I don't know.
One, I don't know, and also, should I tell that?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know it anyway.
When I went to purchase my first car on my own in April, the dealership told me that my credit score was 541.
Oh, that's a dip.
That's a big drop.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a
What's your credit score?
Yeah. Oh, mine is around probably now 750 or 760.
That's pretty good.
It took a hit when we started this.
Yeah, makes sense. Where do you find that information?
I had no idea why, since I barely used my credit card and always paid it off fully every month on time.
Nice.
I put off buying the car while I looked into my credit and was mortified when I saw 2 other credit cards on my report, both of which were nearly maxed out and probably with 15 late payments between the 2 of them.
That's not good.
Credit experts can correct me. I would say like anything below probably a 680, you're starting to get into like not good territory. So either 541.
You're not gonna be able to get loans for a house, a car, which is what OP is dealing with right now.
I would say they have like a 2.0 credit GPA right now.
Yeah.
If I had to.
Not good. Not good.
When I asked my mom and my stepdad about it, my stepdad said he opened the cards when I went to college because I stopped paying rent at the house.
Huh? What? Wait. OP stopped paying rent at the house because OP no longer lived there?
It seems that
and was at college? And then he was like, well, you weren't paying rent, so I had to subsidize that cost somehow.
When I lived there during my 2 years at community college, I paid them $500 a month rent. I stopped paying when I moved out.
Yeah. Why would you do that? I still pay all my landlords.
yeah. Don't you know you pay all of your past landlords?
It's like you accrue more landlords and you just keep paying them.
You just keep paying them for nothing.
Landlords stack, right?
When we ended up arguing about it, and he said that I owed him for the years I didn't pay rent, literally talking about 8th to 12th grade, and to just drop it. When I told him he can't do that with my permission, he said he doesn't need my permission and spit in my face. Sue this man and put him in jail.
Literally straight to jail.
I left crying and my mom called to apologize. We talked a little bit later and she told me that he had something similar happen to him in the past. Obviously, that's no excuse, and I told her I'd have to go to the police about the accounts. Thank God. She said to slow down and really think if that's what I want to do.
It is what you want to do.
Yes. I hung up the phone. I wish I had known about the account sooner. I still think I'm going to call the police, but is there any other way of handling this? There's an update. There's relevant comments, but let's pause there real quick.
Yes, I believe the first order of business is file a police report.
Yep.
Call your bank and say, hey, these credit cards were taken out in my name. They are not mine. This is a fraud chart. I'm filing fraud. And then see if you can shut those cards down immediately and then go no contact.
I have another question for you.
What is your other question that I can answer for you?
You're the mom.
Yes.
Your husband, stepdad to your child, spits in their face after stealing from them, identity theft, etc.
Yeah. I immediately divorce them.
Immediate divorce.
Immediately. If anyone ever spit in my child's face or spit in any of my family or friends' faces, honestly, if anyone I know is spitting in someone's face, I don't want to associate with them.
I think, just the thought of I married this person, right? Not the parent of my child.
Yeah.
They do anything remotely close to this to my child. You're about to develop this sickness called not waking up anymore.
Yeah.
Let's get into this next update. So, relevant comments. Responsible Pie 745 says, the moment he spit in my face, I would have drove right to the police station. Amen, brother. He doesn't respect you at all. 1, to open credit cards in your name. 2, to spit on you. And your mom is okay with this?
Yeah.
That's right. Seems that she doesn't care too much either if she's trying to sway you in a different direction. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Affectionate Bus OP responds, I don't think she's okay with the spitting, probably not all right with the credit cards, but not so against it that she wants me going to the police. She's not defending you the way you deserve.
Exactly. I think the fact that she didn't, like, I don't care if she doesn't agree with his actions or whatever, the fact that she has not left him and is not fully supporting you, 1, is just unacceptable, but also 2, kind of makes me think, was she in on this? Was she in on the credit card stuff?
Conspiracy theory.
It's my conspiracy theory.
That is a good thought. Electrostatic Speaker says, police are going to do absolutely nothing for someone claiming they were spit in the face. This is a waste of time unless it's on video. OP responds, I saw this firsthand in college. My best friend was spit on by some random guy. The police were called and there was a video. The guy denied everything, even though the spit was literally still on her face. Oh my God. To their credit, the police took a swab of it and identified the other guy. Video couldn't be accessed until the manager came in on Monday. The issue was the police couldn't prove that very second it was his spit. She was given the chance to follow up with the prosecutor's office. She did that Monday. Probably 6 weeks later, she gets a letter in the mail saying they were not going to prosecute with the reason other. She filled out an FOIA for the report and we read through it. The police seemed to do a thorough job and obtained the video when they could. According to the report, the video showed the guy lunging at her with his face and she reacted by jerking away and wiping her face. Someone who she knew who works as an attorney, and since it was battery, it would be a violent crime and they would probably have a backlog of violent cases and decided not to prosecute a violent crime with no injury. 100% of the prosecutors office dropped the ball. I just have a feeling it would be the same in my case.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We have an update, but
I think regardless of whether or not you can file for assault charges, I think you could absolutely still file for fraud.
I would still file for everything.
Yeah, I file it for as much as you can.
This guy deserves everything that's coming his way. And look, hopefully, I don't know if this is how it works, but if you're like, hey, here's like the evidence of like all of these charges. Yeah. Maybe that will be, you'll get a higher chance of getting him on some of them.
Yes,
you
exactly.
know what I mean? You have 0% chance if you don't press the charge.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least press the charge and hopefully
throw all of the darts at the board and one's gonna land.
All the darts, because this man deserves
to be darted.
Dart. Thank you, Sophia.
You're welcome.
But we have an update. I am praying this man goes to jail. Update. I made the police report for both identity theft and the spitting. Thank God.
Good.
They said it was 2 separate incidents. The identity theft was a felony and the spitting was a misdemeanor.
Okay.
About a week afterward, my dad comes storming into my workplace. He's always had anger issues, but this is a new low for him. He starts screaming at me for calling the police, and a security guard comes in to tell him he has to leave. The security guard meant well, but she's probably 23 years old and small, and my dad is 6'2" and has had plenty of fights in his life. My manager told me to go in the back, and he followed me there. I locked myself in the bathroom, and he just kept banging on the door for probably 3 to 4 minutes screaming at me. I called my mom, and she tried calling him. Eventually, a police officer gets there and goes to handcuff my dad. He fought him. Oh my God. And 2 other officers pile on him. Only silver lining is this is
all great for the case.
Now he's going to get some cases. He's attacking a police officer. Yeah, they're not going to let that go.
Totally. No, he's going to get things stacked.
He's arrested on aggravated battery and aggravated resisting charges. He was released from jail the next day. No idea why, but the county decided not to prosecute him.
What? Oh my God.
I spoke with an officer a couple of days later about a possible order of protection, and I was told the county usually doesn't prosecute people fighting cops unless an officer gets injured so badly they might have to medically retire. What happened to them abusing their own self-interest?
Yeah, I was like,
what happened to that?
What county is this in?
What reminded me about this post was that I checked my credit yesterday and one of the accounts has come off.
You need to talk to your bank. You need to make them both come off.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know a ton about identity theft in this,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it's like very hard to
I'm sure it is.
reverse it.
But I guess
But keep
I just
going.
want to know whether or not OP is hopefully talking to the bank.
Still waiting for the other one, but I think it's just a matter of time. My dad hasn't said a word to me since, and my mom refuses to talk about it. Get the mom out of here. Get the mom out of here.
Talk
That
to
is
them.
disgusting.
Absolutely don't talk to them.
The next thing is the rest of my family is completely on my side on this. Thank God. My credit should recover pretty soon, but I think my relationship with my dad is pretty much over. I'm fine with that. He's a toxic person. I'm just hoping nothing else happens. That's the end of the story. Have zero regrets about
Literally,
cutting him off.
No, cut him off and cut your mom off. Because these people are very toxic and they're just going to abuse the relationship with you, and they're going to, take all of your stuff unless you stop them.
I would maybe, the mom, I think, also needs some sort of repercussion for her actions.
Yeah.
Might just tell her, like, I'm going to cut you off because you didn't defend me. You refused to talk about it. Look what he did to me.
Yeah.
How dare you not defend me?
Yeah. No, yeah, have that confrontation. Letting her know. I think also OP deserves that kind of closure.
Yeah, totally,
Like,
totally.
Yeah, absolutely unacceptable that you weren't there for me. Yeah.
But you do have more stories.
My mother lied about my father's passing. Turns out I have 54 half siblings.
54? 54.
He was busy.
Not 4, not 5. 54?
Yep, you read that right. Buckle
What?
up, because this is a wild one. Trigger warning, death in a car accident. Growing up, I'd always remembered my mom being a single mom. I don't remember the exact moment she told me my dad was passed because I was so young. I've kind of always known. My mom told me that my dad died in a car accident 2 months before I was born. She said he was hit by a wasted semi-driver and was killed instantly on impact. Obviously, no one questions their own mother, especially at a young age. You believe their every word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, this comes from Wondersoft the World on the r/showcase Storytime subreddit. So this is what I always told people growing up if they ever asked about my dad. I would say I don't have a dad because he was killed. My mom, even on financial aid papers, claimed to be a widower. Whenever I asked questions, my mom said things that just made sense to me. Like, Mom, why don't you have photos of Dad? She told me they all burned in a house fire they started by the dryer right after I was born.
That's weird.
This made sense because we had moved to a new house when I was very young. Also, again, why would you question your own mom? I tried to research my dad and his death, but nothing ever came of it. I assume because back in the day, they didn't have computers or internet. If they did, it wasn't much. I later found out his name was Donald, according to my birth certificate. The only reason I found this out was because I had forced my mom to give me it so I could get my license at 16. A lot of the times, I tried to ask more questions when I got older, but my mom became visibly angry when I did this. Eventually, I just stopped because I didn't want to get yelled at anymore. This strained our relationship growing up. My mom and I were really never close. I tried asking family members questions, and literally no one, even my grandpa, knew. My mom and grandpa are super close, so this was very odd to me. The last time I asked grandma before I finally asked my mom for the last time, my grandma said, I don't know who or where your dad is, but I know your mother loves you. Holy crap, when my grandma said that, I got goosebumps and knew something was very wrong. Fast forward to when I was 19, I started to see a therapist after being a victim of attempted kidnapping and diagnosed with PTSD. My therapist told me to take a DNA test to possibly find out more about my dad's side. This way, I could still find out info without having to ask my mom and making her angry again. I asked my mom to pay for the DNA test because I was a poor college student at the time. She right away got so mad and yelled at me.
Mom, it's for therapy
Yeah.
and PTSD, and I need to know who my father is.
Oh boy. She claimed that the government was going to clone my DNA and sell it, so I never ended up taking it. After that, I didn't bring it up again. Fast forward to when I was 20 years old, around Thanksgiving time, my 3 friends and I had a fun day of baking cookies and talking all day long, until I brought up the stories of my past and my father. I had a conspiracy theory that I made up about my life was a total joke. I told my therapist once and my now friends. The theory: what if my mom had a one-night stand with a rock star / musician and got pregnant with me? She never was able to find him again, so she couldn't tell him. My mom is considered the golden child in her siblings, so in order to remain in the good graces of my grandparents, she told them she eloped and got married, then got pregnant with me, and shortly after, my dad in a car accident right before I was born. Would make total sense why none of my family met him or knew him if it was a short relationship. My theory wasn't too off. But this is what really went down. My friends all told me that my stories didn't really add up. A lot of them said they seemed odd, but never said anything. My friends paid for me to take a DNA test finally. I took a DNA test and then confronted my mom about it. She finally confessed that she always wanted to have a child but never wanted to get married. She found a clinic that would do sperm donor babies. She had 2 miscarriages before me with all different donors. The 3rd time she got pregnant with me. The name Donald came from the donor. There was no dad that died in a car accident. All lies.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Now we at least know the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see why mom was not okay with telling this to the daughter.
With my results from the DNA test, I mostly just had first cousin matches and didn't think anything of it. But what I didn't know was the first cousins and half siblings share a similar amount of DNA. A few weeks later, a girl messaged me claiming to be my half sister. She was able to answer all of my questions I had. The reason my mom never could answer those questions weren't because she was upset he died, but because she truly didn't know.
Oh.
So she had no idea who this guy was.
It's just Donald. That's it.
Oh, he has a good 401k and is 6'5". All right. My
Got
kid,
good genes.
good genes, can dunk.
That's it.
All
Donald.
right, done. The girl who messaged me was correct that she was my half sister. She introduced me in a group chat to the other siblings. This was 3 years ago, and we had 30 half siblings at the time. Now we're up to 50 and expecting more to still pop up. We are from all over the country. We will truly never know how many of us there is because of how messed up the donor industry is. As for my dad being alive, we found this out recently. After a few years of research and sleuthing, my sisters found our donor through leads from the DNA test. We have reached out to him, and he is grateful to know about us. We have limited contact due to his family and his horrible wife. His wife wants to keep her good reputation, in air quotes. Like helping families get pregnant is a bad thing. Partly, I think his wife is homophobic.
Wait.
His wife is very religious, and most of our siblings' parents are the same-sex couples. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's because usually that's what they do for. Yeah.
I was like, what's so about this?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I was also in the same like, huh.
Our donor never told his family about being a sperm donor in college because of his extremely Catholic family. I wish he would tell them and we could meet our cousins, aunts, uncles, and grandparents, but it's unlikely he ever will. He talks to us rarely to say happy birthday or Merry Christmas, but that's about it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he was able to give us updated, correct medical information. This is so cool. I honestly maybe wouldn't be one, but I would love to be a donor and be like, "What's up? What's up, dudes? How's it going?" It's tricky.
It is.
Because then it's like they might try to get money from me or whatever.
That's what I was going to allude to. Especially,
But
I think
this
maybe that's why the
relationship-
wife too. His wife, the sperm donor's wife,
Yeah.
Donald's wife, is just like, these aren't our kids.
Yeah.
Like yeah. These aren't you did the donations. That's it. What's done is done. You don't have to talk to them.
Yeah.
They're out of your life. You're like, if I were if I were Donald, I'd be like, what do you mean?
That's good. Come on.
I want to see I want to see what I look like.
I love my family.
Yeah, this is my big family, and
I've always wanted a big
the
family.
fact that he's saying happy birthday, Merry Christmas, he shows that he cares.
He's a great guy.
He
Great
genuinely
guy.
cares.
Great guy. W donor.
This is just a weird situation that I don't even know how to go about.
Amen. Hey man, I'm just glad Donald's a good guy.
Yeah.
There has been a few donor child stories on the OK Storytime podcast, but my story is a bit different from what I've learned before on the pod. Sadly, this is common in the donor children community. Many parents lie to their children with no planning to tell their kids.
Mhm.
In the 90s, no one ever expected that DNA test would be what it is today. Oh, it shot a lot of people in the foot. Edit/update. As of January 24th of 2023, we have just found 3 more siblings. We now have 53 siblings and counting.
Oh my gosh.
Another update 21 months later. I was 20 when I discovered that I had 30 siblings until recently. I recently turned 25 and now we have 54 siblings. We are likely to find more during the holidays, as many people receive DNA tests as gifts or buy them on sale at that time. Unfortunately, we will never truly know how many of us there are. The donor industry is extremely sketchy and doesn't keep accurate records of live births, allowing them to sell more. I got married in September, and we just received our photos back. 4 of my sisters were bridesmaids.
That's adorable.
And one of my brothers attended as well.
That's awesome.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
Most of them drove 7 to 13 hours, and some even flew across the country to be there for the wedding weekend. This experience was something I never dreamed of as a little girl, but I am so happy I got to share my wedding day with my siblings by my side. My friends who bought me the DNA test mentioned in the original post were also at the wedding and met my siblings for the first time. This is so cute.
This
oh
is
my gosh.
crazy.
This was full circle, surreal moment. Now, onto the real tea of the evening. My family members still had no idea about this.
Whoa.
Literally none of them. My family was my debut, you could say, of my mom's long-held secrets. I was tired of bearing her burden because it was never mine to hold. The wedding program including my siblings' names and labeled them as sister of the bride or brother of the bride. My mom had refused to give a speech at the wedding for some reason. I told her that a parent typically does this and that the groom's father was giving one. She still refused. So I told her my sisters would instead. She said that was fine, but I don't know what she expected them to say since they weren't going to lie for her too.
Okay.
They checked with me first to see if it was okay to talk about the siblings and how we found each other. I said, F it, just do it.
I love this. This is crazy.
During the speeches, it felt like dropping a bomb and then walking away. I got to sit back, grab some popcorn, but no, literally, because we have popcorn as wiener tail snack. We replaced cock with wiener.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, yeah. Cocktail. Wiener tail. Love that. I love that.
And watch the show unfold. My 3 sisters gave a speech together, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. They talked about how we all took DNA tests and how I was found. The looks on my aunts, uncles, and older cousins' faces were priceless.
I love this.
I am so glad we have a videographer and should be getting those back too soon. They were in utter shock and disbelief. Their reactions were almost as entertaining as the speech itself. It felt incredible to finally be able to speak openly about my life. Of course, I noticed a lot of whispers and strange glances afterwards, but that was no longer my problem to fix. Thankfully, my narcissistic mother managed to keep it together during the wedding, of course, because she had to maintain a front for the world. However, the following week, once we were back home, she was absolutely awful to me, and she still mostly is. Ultimately, I believe it was 1000% worth it, and I would do it a million times over again. The truth always comes out. And we can be truthful that we will always go live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
What'd you think about the speech? Beautiful.
I love
Absolutely
this.
beautiful. I want to see the video.
I want to see like I just want to see all of it. And I'm so happy that OP got like a lot of, not just like 1 or 2. She got like 5 siblings, 6 siblings to come, which is great. I would have talked to my mom first, or her mom
did.
after.
Afterwards?
Like it seemed like she didn't do it prior.
Well,
Yeah,
she was
seemed-
like,
it
"Hey, can you
seemed
give
like
a speech?" No. Okay, I'm gonna have my other 3 sisters do it. She's
well,
like,
I think
"Okay."
she did it the day of. It seemed like I don't think it was like,
No,
hey,
I
mom.
think she did it. I think she did it before. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because it sounded like she did it the day of. At least she did. She dropped a bomb on everyone else other than her mom. I don't understand.
But
Like,
her and her mom have always been not good.
yeah, but like, especially being a single parent, it seemed like her mom was a single parent.
Yeah. I think she's ashamed of it.
100%. I agree. But like, I would have been like, Mom, it's okay. Like, zero judgment. I'm here because of you
Yeah.
and because of him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Of course.
So why, especially when it's already found out, why dig a bigger hole when there's no need to dig a bigger hole? I don't know. This story itself for OP though. Like, it's not about the mom. It's about OP.
Yeah.
This is great for OP.
Oh yeah.
OP
OP's killing
has
it.
siblings. They have a group chat.
So beautiful.
54.
Wow.
Is the dad still, because he has a family, it seems like, or at least a wife, and is he still donating?
No, he probably put in a lot of work back in the day.
Dude, that's wild. This is a very happy story. I love this story.
Since we found our donor and have contact with him, I sent him photos of the
Aw,
siblings
I
and
love
me
that.
from the wedding. He was thrilled for us. He wished us the best and said we all looked beautiful. I replied, "Thank you so much. I guess we have some good genes."
That's so cute.
Additional info from OP. One thing I forgot to mention, not super important, but just funny. Sister with black hair and I came from the same clinic. We are a few months apart, so our mothers likely crossed paths while at the clinic because it wasn't a big town. When I first met her, it felt like I already knew her. I joked because we had already met on the shelf at the clinic.
The fact that they can joke about this.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's a brilliant.
Dude, I love this.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a great story.
No. OP, you have a great mindset with this. This is best story of the day right here.
Shout out to your friends, by the way, because again,
You knew
couldn't
that
afford
DNA
it.
test?
Yeah, they got it for her. They're like, you can't afford it. Your mom doesn't want you to do it, and she won't buy it for you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it for you. Surprise DNA test.
Great
do
friends.
it.
W
Fine-
friends.
Yeah, W friends. Is that the end of the story?
That's the end of the story.
Whoa. 54 siblings, and
Beautiful.
the fact that I mean, some
Everyone
of them,
seems happy about
there's
it
probably
too.
more. There could be more.
Oh, yeah.
They even said that.
Oh yeah, there's probably 150 out there.
But how would you react? You're like, oh, I'm adopted.
If I found out
Or not
that,
adopted. I'm a donor.
if I grew up with a single mom, and my life turned out to how it is, I'd probably be. If I am right now, I'd probably be happy.
yeah.
Be like, no freaking way. I have more family. This just means I can travel like everywhere more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably like suss them out, be like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
And then be like, "Dude, come to LA, check it out."
I would do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
if I had a single parent, or again, if I had like 2 dads, 2 moms, and they're like, I was a donor child, I would be so just interested in like,
Mhm.
who was my donor? Like, who do I
Yeah.
look like more? Do I
Yeah.
look like more like him? Do I look like one of my parents that
Yeah.
raised me? It's crazy. I do have a friend who is she's a donor.
Oh wow.
She's not a donor. She's a donor
Donor baby.
child. Yeah, donor baby. So, and she has a sister. Same thing,
Oh wow.
because she has 2 moms, and they look kind of alike, but it's 2 different donor dads.
Yeah.
The friend I know, she's very interested in knowing who her dad was. Her sister's like, I don't care.
Oh wow.
So, to each their own. So,
Each their own.
but I don't think my friend ever found out.
Dang.
So, but like she said, and like IOP said, it's hard and sketchy with their
Yeah.
records. But this was a great story.
I
I
love
love
that.
this story.
That was beautiful.
This was a great story.
Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my stepdaughter a graduation gift, even though I gave one to our other kids?
She doesn't need one. You know what? We teach our kids resilience, and that is a gift that is better than all the rest.
Amen, brother. This comes from Throwaway Raymond, who says, "Hi, 43-year-old woman. I have one daughter who is 18. Her father left us when I was pregnant with her."
Shout out, Dad. Where's that milk? Where's those cigarettes?
Nowhere, apparently.
Yeah, dude. He got stuck.
To
It
the
takes
ends
a
of the
while.
earth, apparently.
Takes a while. I had to go to that one in Alaska.
I own a small company in interior design, and it's very successful in my country. I make a good living, and I met my husband, 55, around 8 years ago. He moved in with me 7 years ago, and we got married 2 years ago in a private ceremony. My husband has 2 children from a previous marriage. The boy is 20 and a girl 18. and a girl
Sounds
19.
great. I love backstories. This is great.
Both my stepchildren hated me and my daughter in the beginning of the relationship. When my husband asked me how they'd feel about him moving in together with me, they both initially hated the idea and told him that if he did it, they would just stay permanently with their mother.
The stepchildren?
The stepchildren.
Aren't they like old?
Bare minimum late teens. I think this was a few years
Get over
ago.
yourself, kids. What's wrong with you? You don't want your dad to find love?
Yes.
That's lame. That's lame, dude.
That's what they want. They're being angsty teens. I want to hate my dad and make sure he never gets married again. But after a while, my husband moved in anyways and said to them they were welcome should they change their mind. So basically, hey, there's a door if you want to leave. Don't let it hit you with a good Lord split you.
But also, there's the door if you want to come in. There's just the door.
There's just a door.
There's just a door, and
door
you're
is
welcome
there.
to move through it as you please.
Open it, close it. After seeing the big house with the pool and all the great accommodations. Oh. So they did stay. The boys started liking us gradually, and we're on great terms now.
Yeah, like as soon as they saw the hot tub, they're like, oh, actually, this place is looking pretty good. Dude, gold diggers. I hate gold digging kids. Give them one Xbox, and suddenly they're hanging around for life.
Come on.
You know what you should do?
What?
Take them to Sacramento, have them pan for gold. Did it in 4th grade.
Wow.
I did find gold.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I found flakes of gold.
It was fake.
It was not
Okay.
fake. There were flakes of gold.
Yeah, they put them in the water.
They do not pit them in the water. It's natural sediment. There are flakes of gold
Guys!
in rivers. Hashtag eat out the river.
The daughter, not so much. She was horrible to me and my daughter. And one day, when she was 13 or 14, I heard her making fun of my daughter's weight and looks to her face. I was livid.
That's terrible.
I have suffered from an eating disorder growing up because of bullying, so I knew how dangerous that was. I knew how my daughter must have felt, so I told my husband that their stepdaughter was never allowed to live in my house again. Interesting comments. Do we agree with that? Yes or no? I'm very interested to know.
I don't know about never live again, but I think there deserves to be some punishment.
Yeah.
You have to be like,
Yeah.
you can't say that, and you're
Yeah.
going to be punished for it.
I saw this video on Reddit, and it was like, I found out my daughter was bullying a classmate, and so she got kicked off the bus. Like, she wasn't allowed to be on the bus. And the daughter was like, I guess you have to take me to school, Dad. And what the dad did is he just drove behind his daughter while she walked 5 miles to school.
My 10-year-old daughter, for the second time this school year, been kicked off the school bus due to bullying another student. She said, Daddy, you're going to have to take me to school next week. As you see this morning, she is learning otherwise.
Damn, she's going to be like super fit.
She's gonna be fit.
And then she has the greatest thighs
Yeah.
ever.
And then
It's
she's
like,
gonna
damn
be,
it.
yeah, she's gonna even look better.
Crap. My stepdaughter tried to apologize and she was sobbing, but I didn't budge. I mean, yeah, seems a little,
Dude,
little harsh.
Get on the streets, kid.
I had too long of an experience with bullies that I knew it just got worse when they got confronted and had to apologize, and I wasn't going to take the risk. So she permanently moved with her mother. My initial plan was to break up, actually, but this was my husband's idea.
What? Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If that's true, that's crazy.
I'm a little bit confused.
I feel like OP has some unresolved trauma from bullying because that is an overreaction. Making her live with her mom is basically driving a wedge between the dad and the daughter,
Yes.
which is effed.
She still bullied my daughter in school. They didn't go to the same high school, but my stepdaughter had friends in my daughter's class that did her bidding. Dude, she's a mob boss catching a Rico. Rico is where you like order people what to do.
Yeah.
And then that's the only crime that they can charge you with because you're having like
You
the
haven't
henchmen
done
do the
anything.
dirty work.
Yeah.
Well,
That's crazy.
This is also the problem. Now that the dad sent the daughter away, he can't even actually punish her.
You can't discipline her.
True. I found out about all of this about a year ago. My daughter was embarrassed to tell us and she thought she could manage her bullies. It broke my heart and I felt so guilty that my baby didn't dare to confide in me. University is free in my country. Students often take student loans with almost zero interest and work part-time jobs while studying to make ends meet, but the education is free. When my stepson started university, however, I gave him 100,000 euros.
Yeah. Which
100
is a ton of money.
over 100,000 USD. So he didn't have to work or anything and just concentrate on his studies in engineering. Getting over $100,000. I also don't agree with that. It's possible she didn't give it all up front, but as far as I can tell, that's kind of what it seemed like.
My parents helped pay for tuition, but I was expected to pay for like half through working jobs.
I worked throughout all of college.
Yeah. Sophia worked at Starbucks
and then also I had like 2 other jobs that because I was working for you, not being paid, but then I was working for I was working
she's
for
getting
another
paid now,
company.
everyone.
Yes.
To be
That I was also
clear,
being paid.
she's getting paid
Sophia
now.
is on the payroll
Yeah.
Still not
with
being
bonuses and everything.
No, but I was working 2 jobs, well, 3 jobs, and then 2 were paid jobs during college to pay for.
Yeah, and I think it's like good to have work experience.
He was so grateful, but told us that he wasn't sure he could be trusted with a large sum. So my husband is handling his money, making monthly payments. I am planning to do the same with my daughter.
Okay, W son.
W son.
W son.
That's
Jinx.
a different level of responsibility to basically be like, whoa, you're dumb for giving me this much money.
Right? Stepdaughter graduated with great marks and grades, and she started medical school this year.
Wait, so this is the stepdaughter that bullied OP's daughter at 13.
At 13.
So it is now
graduating.
5 years later.
5 years later, graduating high school, going to university.
Going to medical school.
She asked her father about the 100,000, and he came to ask me. I was confused because before I gifted my stepson, I asked my husband if I could do it, and the reason was because I wasn't planning on doing the same thing with my stepdaughter. He told me I could do what I wanted, and it wasn't weird at all because my stepson and I have a great relationship, and he always saw me as a second mom. He got really mad and told me that my stepdaughter had changed a lot, but it wasn't true at all. Although she wasn't living with us anymore, she made sure to make our lives a living hell every time she visited and even got physical with me and my daughter. If she started playing nice now, it was only because there was money involved, and I knew that, and my husband knew that too. I even told him that she called me that B. Even my phone number was saved as that B. Bro.
Yeah, don't
doesn't
give her
deserve that much.
anything.
She does not deserve
Even if she was a biological daughter, I don't think she deserves the
Exactly.
money.
It's like actions have consequences, and I don't think that is like you have to at some point be like, hey, you can take care of this on your own because you've made it very clear you don't want to treat me with respect.
It's not because she's a stepdaughter. It's because of how she's behaving.
Exactly.
100. And side note, Sam's hair is looking better every single day, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you guys like it
Let it be
better
known.
when I push it back or push it forward?
He is now very angry. He hasn't talked to me in over a week. He's saying I'm using my money to control their lives and that he's heartbroken. If I don't have enough money for both daughters, I can split my daughter's share between them since my daughter isn't even sure where she wants to start college right away.
But it's not about the money.
Not
it's
the
about
point.
the attitude.
Exactly. And let's face it, she will likely never get into medical school, his words.
Okay, so now we
Wow.
know where the stepdaughter is getting all this
The
bullying
apple don't fall
from.
far from the tree.
That is making me want to divorce the husband.
Let us know in the comments below.
Because the reason I'm thinking divorce is now I'm getting the suspicion that OP's husband may have been encouraging / saying things about OP's daughter behind her back.
Oh, he was encouraging the daughter.
Like not encouraging, but maybe saying something that like why would this kind of thought where it's like, oh, like your daughter couldn't even get in almost feels like
He's bullying her now.
yeah. And I'm like, did his daughter get it from him?
Also, I ain't saying he's a gold digger, but he's broke and
He's
sucks,
broke.
and he is.
And he sucks.
And he is
And
a gold digger. That's actually exactly
yeah,
what
I
I'm
am saying
too.
he's a gold digger.
Maybe if I did give the money, the stepdaughter would be more grateful and close to my daughter. No.
Yeah, bribe her into being nice to
her
her.
to
Yeah.
be a good person.
True.
Yeah,
dude.
maybe
That
if
always
you
works.
pay her, she'll be good. She'll be nice to you.
Yeah, no, that's dumb.
I don't know what to do. I feel like I don't owe my stepdaughter anything. My daughter and I have suffered enough because of her ways. She could still do like the rest of her peers, work and take loans, and she has a bright future ahead of her. There may be some truth in his words about me using my money as a reward / punishment. I'm ashamed but still defiant. I should do what I want with my money. And we do have some relevant comments.
Yes,
And the
OP is using the money as a reward / punishment. But
That's
that, I mean,
Okay.
like that, I think that's fine.
yeah.
If you literally put your stepmom's phone number as that B in your phone, then you're just going to have to realize there are going to be consequences down the line.
Literally.
Should OP divorce the husband or have a conversation? Maybe divorce with the husband and daughter.
We need a little more context. But let's get into these relevant comments. Tree City Kitty says, so your husband has just been sitting around waiting for you to pay both his kids? What a charmer. OP says he pays alimony and paid child support. I guess kind of defending the husband. Tree City Kitty responds, that's good, but it sounds like he expects his daughter to receive the same treatment as his son and your daughter. He knows that she hasn't treated you and your daughter well and has been a bully to both of them. What makes him think she deserves anything? And why does he not insist that she treat you both better? Why does he think you owe her anything?
I think those are great questions.
Great questions. Fluffy Dog 423 says, you know the man is just with you for the money, right? Right? You may want to reconsider the whole breaking up plan that you had. OP, maybe he is. He never showed anything like that before.
I don't know. I feel like that's a little far. I don't think we have evidence of that.
Yeah, we probably need. I mean, it is very suspicious that he is asking for, like, I feel like he maybe didn't ask for it for the stepson because he didn't need to and knew it was going to happen, but would have if he needed to, and now he's really pushing it for the stepdaughter when she doesn't. It's pretty fishy, honestly. It's a little stinky to me. I smell something.
I don't know, because it's like he's not getting the money. It's just like he's giving his kids the money.
I don't know. It's not something's. I'm a little suspicious.
I'm not suspicious. I don't think so.
Let us know what you guys think in the show.
Gold digging or not.
Fluffy Dog 423 says, well, think about it logically. If your children told you they would never see you again if you moved in with a man, what would you do? I'll take a wild guess and say you would end it, right? Well, he didn't. So we've already established that he's a bad dad who doesn't actually care about his children's best interests.
I don't think that's true either. Like this person's basically saying he's a bad dad because when his kids are like, I don't want you to move in with this woman, you didn't listen. I think kids are sometimes just being bratty.
If your kid wants ice cream for dinner, are you gonna just be like, you know what, you're right, let me take care of your needs?
Yeah.
Right there.
Sometimes kids are afraid of the change, and like you, as an adult, you have to be like, I actually think this is going to be better for like me and the family, and you make executive decisions as an adult.
Which it was for the stepson. It worked out beautifully.
It was better. It was better for the stepson.
Better house, better parents, Papa John's.
And he got $100K.
And he got 100 freaking buckaroonies. Fluffy Dog 43 continues. Next, his kids didn't want you to move in with you until they realized you were rich. Kids often learn these morals from their parents. So what does it tell you that both kids were suddenly okay with things and their stepdaughter threw a fit about leaving the home of the woman she hated simply because you have nice things? I think that's just kids wanting
That's
nice
just
things.
kids being...
If I could play PlayStation and a spinny slide down into the pool underwater.
That sounds awesome.
With a butler?
Yeah.
But you have to live with, I don't know, the person you hate most.
I don't
But there's a billion rooms. I
Yeah.
could just go to another room. I'll go on the slide.
If I'm a kid, I'm like, yeah, I'm choosing the slide.
Yeah.
What does it say? Maybe that they were raised by someone who has a particular interest in the finer things in life. Continuation of point one, when it came to picking his child or picking your money, again, he picked you with the money and permanently kicked his kids out. What the F? Finally.
I don't agree with that. I want to know in the comments if like you guys see that. Let us know. But I just don't agree with that. And also, John, I can't believe you gave a free sponsor.
We've been giving free sponsors all day today.
I don't know, but specifically you.
Specifically me.
Specifically you. Better
Maybe.
pizza.
That the joke was just banged too hard. I could not make the joke. It was
free
too
sponsors,
funny.
Dude. You're the king of no free sponsors, and yet you stomped on your own land.
Better pizza, better home, no free sponsors.
Nice job, Sophia.
Execution.
Giving
top
me
notch.
the improv queen. Giving me a lesson, ladies and gentlemen, as I deserve it. So finally, now that you said you won't give her any money, he's trying to pretend he's a good father, ? But we've already established twice he doesn't actually give a crap about his kid's best interest. And given that he's the one in charge of his son's money, it stands to reason he'd probably expect the same. Even if he didn't, again, he's only willing to be a good dad when that involves taking your money. If it involves giving up your money, though, oh no, his kids can go rot for all he cares. And I guess one last point, because there wasn't enough, he wanted you to give up providing for your actual child to provide for his, and even decided to insult your kid. So that brings me back to my first point. If you were in a situation where you had to choose between a man and your kid, who would you choose? Remember, I was conflicted because you seem like you'd choose your kid, even before you realize he's in it just for the money. Remember, truly manipulative people, you never see.
Reaching.
It's just, yeah.
Reaching, leading the witness.
It's just too much.
It's just, man, Reddit goes way too far.
Fluffy dog, you're doing too much. You need to fluff down a little bit.
Yeah. You're a spiky dog right
Come
now.
on.
You're a dog with an attitude. You're
Smooth it
barking.
out.
Honestly, I think that dog needs to be put down.
Wow. I was going to say like catnip or something.
Maybe that. Put down with catnip.
Bang, bang, smash, smash says. He can ask.
That. Bang, bang, and smash that dog.
I tried to help him. I tried. He can ask his son to share his money with his sister, or he can provide with some money. He is basically asking you to buy your stepdaughter's affection, and you're saying you don't think it's a good investment with probable returns.
There is a comment that is normal. Thank you.
Yes, my God.
I agree with that.
OP says he already tried. Stepson was furious. He's not on good terms with his sister, which I think is a little telling. Like, he's been so great, and he's not on good terms with his his own biological sister. Throwaway 38 LSD says your stepson may want to put a lock on his account if you don't have access to stop his dad from transferring money to the sister behind his back. I wouldn't put it past him. I agree. Just for safety.
But if that happens, then you would divorce.
Yes, but do you want that? Okay, so you're saying like it's a tell.
Yeah.
And then you use that.
Like I honestly like it.
But then also you risk $100,000.
Well, you've already given it away.
That's true.
I think
fair.
better to know.
That's a good point. You changed my mind. And please make sure your own will is ironclad. You would be rewarding bullies if you gave your stepdaughter the cash, and no, it wouldn't foster a more positive relationship. Your daughter would likely just feel upset that her nemesis is being rewarded by her own mom, and it'll damage that relationship. Don't do that. To which OP responds, I have no access to my stepson's money. I don't think my husband would do something like that, but maybe I need to tell my stepson that he needs to be more cautious. Do I even have the right to do that?
No, I do not think you do that. I think if anything, you talk to your husband.
Yeah, talk to
your husband. Make sure that I don't agree with that at all. That's getting way too much up in the business.
And I completely flip-flop my answer to agree with Sam's previous point, which is literally continue to give the husband full access. Maybe you go to like the master account and you're like bank or whatever, and you're like, hey, could you send me a flag if he tries to like an alert if he tries to like withdraw out?
Which she doesn't have access to it.
He has zero access to it.
Is zero access.
I still think it could. I think it could be good just to like they're hot. I mean. I guess
I don't
she
think
gave
it
it
matters.
away.
I think she would find out probably.
She would.
I don't think she has to safeguard it.
That's true. It could be nice though. It like in a perfect world, she gets this bing, 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 red flag alert. He's trying to withdraw, $1,000 or $5,000 or $50,000 from the account. OP is flagged and she's able to divorce, know that he was going to do that. And the stepson is still able to use the $100,000.
If I was in that situation, I would not tamper with any of it. I would just be hands off.
Fair enough. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some good relevant comments, but we have an update. And I want to jump to that right now. I have now talked to both my husband and stepdaughter, so I thought I would share it with you if you're interested. But before that, I want to say that I'm very disgusted, although not surprised, by the amount of people who actually took a bully's side. What I wrote in my first post wasn't just one-off incidents. Anyone with more than 3 brain cells should have understood that I wasn't going to write 8 years worth of bullying and bad behavior in one post to convince bully apologists to understand why I did what I did. Many also talked about how we as parents have failed the bully. I don't know how, since the other children we raised turned out to be decent human beings with lots of empathy for others around them. I only wish everyone who defends bullies or try to explain away their horrible life-scarring behavior.
OP has been hurt.
OP needs and deserves therapy.
Yeah.
To never have had to deal with one in their or their children's lives and feel the pain they can inflict upon others. I do not regret any of my actions. I saw my stepdaughter for what she was, and I acted instinctively. Her young age played little to no role in my decision to protect my baby. My daughter was and is still my sole priority. On to the update. I decided that I should try to confront my stepdaughter directly instead of communicating through my husband or via text. So I asked her around for tea, which I think is a good idea. Invite the daughter to some tea, to sit down and just talk.
Which
person to person
is what we said to do.
Take notes.
We didn't say tea, but we did.
But we said sit down.
We said sit down.
Talk, basically. She accepted immediately, which was a first. She showed up last Sunday. I sat her and my husband down, and I just bluntly asked her why she would expect any financial help from me when she hated my guts. She got defensive and said that she didn't ask me. She asked her dad. I mean, come on. She asked her dad for the $100,000.
But that is fair.
Ow,
that's a fair point. Like if she, because it's like the husband is getting mad on his daughter's behalf. It's like not the daughter.
Well, that's the thing. The stepdaughter probably went to her dad and was like, "Hey, my brother got this. Can I have some financial help?" And then he went to OP and was like, "Can you fund this?"
Yeah. So
which doesn't negate that she's still
trying to
great.
ask for a reward for terrible behavior.
Yeah, but I think there's also, I don't know, a little sus on his part.
With that context, I put a little bit more blame on the dad.
I agree.
Me too.
I told her that I knew she wasn't stupid, and she well knew that stepson got his gift from me and not their father. She said, "What's the difference? You're married." I told her the difference is that my stepson treated me and my daughter as family while she always hated us, bullied her little stepsister, even in high school. She was shocked here. She didn't know that I had found out about the high school bullying, and I asked her if she would give money to someone she knew hated her of the amount that she hated me, and why then she expected me to do that. She started crying. That's...
Beautiful.
Yeah, very
Textbook exposure.
Exposed!
Like a man in a trench coat. You just got caught.
Yep. She started crying and apologizing, etc., etc. I told her I wasn't the one she should be apologizing to. I told her that I wished her great success and happiness, but that I wouldn't be helping her financially throughout her education, which, again, I agree with that.
I agree too.
My husband was silent the whole time. When she left, I told him to never compare our daughters again, making my daughter to be the inferior one just because she wasn't as academically successful as her stepsister. I trust my daughter and I want her to be happy, and if she wants to study in a less prestigious school, so be it. Her happiness is the most important thing to me, and I didn't appreciate him dragging her and comparing her to others when none of what happened has anything to do with her. He tried to apologize and told me he just wanted to help his daughter.
Which, yes, I understand, but you're not going to help your daughter in the long run by just giving things that she doesn't deserve. She needs to learn a lesson. And you know what's great? She apologized. Long way to go, but at least that's a step.
Could you pass me that red flag over there? Because I need to do a little bit of a red flag waving cue animation. The husband said, "Oh, I just want to help my daughter." What about your stepdaughter, who you should see as your daughter?
Amen. Go off, King.
That's right. I read that subtext, sir. I'm on it. I'm reading comprehension.
100%. Oh, Sam and John, they never know how to read. Guess what? Look what we just did. 100%.
Read in between the lines.
Colors. We're getting into medical school, and we got a full scholarship.
I am not, but that's okay. Hashtag college dropout. Shooby-dooby-doo.
We got into college. Just decided
I got into college.
Didn't you get a scholarship?
I got the basic,
you got a scholarship?
The bread and butter scholarship.
Yeah, that's good.
It was, you know what it was? It's the, we're going to mark up your education by 20,000 and give you 10,000 because you're out of state.
That's still something.
Maybe. It wasn't cheap. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I trust my daughter, and I want her to be happy. And if she wants to study at a less prestigious school, then so be it. Her happiness is the most important thing to me, and I didn't appreciate him dragging her and comparing her to others when none of what happened has anything to do with her. He tried to apologize and told me he just wanted to help his daughter. I told him he's free to do that however he wanted, just not at my daughter's expense. We have been civil to each other ever since, although he's a bit cold towards me. But hopefully he's just ashamed of this whole episode. I will give him some space because honestly, I need some myself to think things over. Thank you for listening. And we will close out with these quick relevant comments. Woolly Goldfish says, so when's the divorce party? Opie says, oh God, I have been thinking nonstop about our future together. I don't want to make any rash decisions while agitated. I think having my space is a good start for now. And then a few commenters think Opie handled it wrong and should not have turned her back on the stepdaughter. Opie replies, it was my struggling child or her abuser. It was a very easy choice. I hope you do the same for yours. Smiley face. That is it.
Red flag, though, that the husband wasn't able to change how his daughter was interacting with his stepdaughter after this came to light.
I personally believe because, you know, like if I was in his position and my biological daughter is bullying and harassing my wife and stepdaughter, I believe it's kind of on me as her like the father of her through her whole life.
It definitely is
to get her to not do that.
It definitely is. I think major red flag. And I had another thought. In terms of what next steps OP should do, I think yes, space is a great start.
Totally.
It seems like there is a little bit of resentment on both sides. And if that isn't resolved quick, it could metastasize into something much worse. And so like nip it in the butt. Nip it in the bud.
Bud.
Nip it
as
in the
in
bud.
nip it in the
Nip
flower.
it in the bud. Nip it in the butt. I like nip in the butt.
It's
though.
not nip in the butt?
No, it's bud.
Nip in the bud.
I'm saying nip in the butt.
Nip in
I
the
don't
butt
care.
is so much funnier.
I'm
though.
sticking with it.
I'm just imagining like you really got to nip it in the butt where it's just like you're just biting someone's butt.
I'm sorry, it might be because I grew up in Florida, but that is how I heard it.
Yeah,
I don't
it's way better.
revisionist history. I'm just rolling with it.
It's way better. But yeah, I think couples therapy for sure in this situation.
Yes, I totally. It's space is almost like step 0, where it's like you need a reset, and then the first like step of action is getting couples therapy to actually come together and work on it. I think it is salvageable, but the dad is the one I feel like
there's no character development.
He is on the shakiest ground by a landslide by the end of this story, and I think it's possible that they can recover. But I could totally see it also not working out and him not changing.
Yeah. But who do you think is the a-hole? Let us know in the chat. But it seems like most people are saying don't divorce right. Well, actually, it's pretty split. 54% of people are saying couples therapy.
That is majority, which our audience loves the divorce chant.
Yeah, they
we
love
haven't had a good divorce
chants.
chant in a while as well.
Yeah, and I'm not going to do it now because I don't think this deserves divorce.
That's true.
But when it does, just we will be chanting away. But 51%. Wow, it's gone down.
We're swaying the election.
51% say 50% say wow, it's
neck and neck.
51% divorce. Okay,
I feel like
all right,
Wolf
all
Blitzer
right.
right now.
You guys heard us, and you're like, "What? This can't stand." Divorce. It is now 51% couples therapy. So, or 50%. Wow, you got it is.
I think it's just gonna keep flip flopping.
It is neck and neck. It is neck and neck. But you know what? We're up to our next in.
What?
This next story. Am I the a-hole for revealing my parents' infidelity to our family?
Daddy, chill.
And this is answering the question, do DNA tests do more harm than good? We're going to read some stories that answer that question. This first story comes from Nerd Comrade 7, and they say, so I've been called the a-hole by so many family members that I already know I'm probably wrong. So let's see if they are. My mom and dad got married when they were 18 and they had 6 kids together. That's a lot of kids.
Son.
Their marriage seems fine enough and it was overall a good family environment. But some recent events brought up a nasty situation that happened in their 20s. My dad cheated on my mom when my 2 older sisters were toddlers. They separated, and she left them with my grandma. Went away to another state where my family is originally from and had some sexual partners there. She got pregnant with my brother. Meanwhile, my father went after her to try to get back together.
Okay, so
Wow.
whoa.
That is crazy. So
Okay.
basically, dad cheated, mom split, and is like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Went to another state, started hooksing around.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, gets pregnant. And then the
Bam.
dad's like, I want to be back together with you. That's crazy.
Got you.
Yeah. That's a wild ride. Just out the gate. She got pregnant with my brother. Meanwhile, my father went after her to try to get back together. She didn't want to keep the pregnancy and tried some abortive natural remedies, but it didn't work. So my father suggested that she gives away the baby to a couple in Europe.
What?
He had contact with a guy that used to do that kind of deal for illegal adoptions for couples abroad.
What?
Illegal adoptions?
What?
Also, I feel like there could be some traffic stuff if you do illegal.
Illegal adoptions feels very,
so sketchy.
very sketchy.
Extremely sketchy.
Why does he have contacts?
I don't know. Yeah, why do you have illegal
Who just has
adoption
contacts for illegal adoption?
I don't know. Sketchy people. It makes me sick to know that it happened. My mom even made it to the airport to give birth in Spain and give away my brother. But she gave up last minute. Oh, wait. Gave up what?
Probably like changed her mind.
Gave up with the adoption?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, because my father decided to raise my brother as his son and never told him about it. So this was the son that they were going to give away.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. They had the other 2 children and never got separated again. None of us ever heard about that until recently. And turns out he is the only man and the closest to my father his whole childhood and still is to this day. I found out about this nasty secret when I met one of my distant cousins from the same state my mom got pregnant in. She mentioned something about my father not being able to make boys, and it was a good thing that my mom decided to keep my brother because now they're so close. She thought that we knew about it. I confronted my parents and they admitted and gave me the full information. They said I could never tell my brother, but I said, hell no, he deserves to know.
I think he does. I think that's a fair thing to. I think it should come from the parents, but
Ideally, it comes from the parents.
yeah, ideally.
Do you do a
ultimatum?
ultimatum?
Yeah, you're like either I tell him or you do, or other way around, I suppose.
Either you tell him
Or
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't tell. Well, I think it's because they didn't tell him because they want to keep their infidelity a secret, not that they're
Yes.
trying to like protect his feelings. I think. I feel like generally you should tell children that they are adopted as early as possible in an age appropriate way.
Yeah.
Because I think it ensures that there's not any rude awakening later in life. And like the TLDR of the story is, am I the a-hole for revealing my parents' infidelity to our family? So OP found out through a cousin that their parents cheated on each other, and then her mom got pregnant with another, or not cheated on each other. The dad cheated on the mom. The mom left, had a bunch of sexual partners, and then had another baby. They were about to give that baby away, and they decided to keep it and kept it a secret. So there's one brother that is basically a child of infidelity,
Yes.
quote unquote. Because I don't know if you could call the mom what the mom did infidelity if she right, because she like kind of left then.
Oh yeah. The mom didn't. I mean, you can't see me right now, but the mom didn't cheat on the dad. The dad cheated first, and then they separated.
Yeah, then they separated,
yeah.
and then the mom just was like, all right, I'm gonna have some fun. Okay, so but I said, hell no, he deserves to know. I called up a meeting with all of my siblings to give my parents the opportunity to tell the story themselves, but they just sat there crying.
Ugh.
I had to tell them, but left out the details about the tempting to give my brother away in the abortion. I feel like it would be a lot to take. My brother took it well at first. He and my parents hugged and they apologized, but he seems more distant the last few days. But I do understand it's a lot
I wonder
to take.
why.
No crap. My sisters were shocked, and one of them refuses to talk to my mom and is heartbroken about all this. As I said, some family members called me out for telling my brother about all of this, and honestly, I felt that if it was me, I would like to know something so big about my own life.
Yeah.
So, am I in the wrong here? And there is a big ol' edit, but what do you think, Sophia? Is OP in the wrong
I don't think
to
so.
tell this information?
I don't think so. I think it's, as Jen Brett says, it's so wrong to keep this from the brother, from the child.
I think it's what the parents are doing. They're doing a disservice to their child by basically keeping a portion of their identity a secret.
Well, I think it's just weird because, I mean, on one hand, I understand they're like, oh, like I'm, ashamed of the cheating, blah, blah, blah. And like, this didn't come through. Maybe they're like, oh, it didn't come through. Like we weren't married. Like I wasn't married to the person who, the brother's father. But I feel like they could have just said something along the lines of, we weren't together for a time.
Yeah, like mommy, mommy and daddy, like were like we think about the age appropriate way to say these things. So it's like mommy and daddy took some time together, and mommy met your daddy, and
then we realized that we loved each other, and so we came back.
Yeah, and now we're all together as a family, and we love you.
Yeah,
like I think like that, dude. I think we crushed that.
We crushed that.
Bah!
Yeah.
A little high five for you. Bah! Yeah, I think they made a big oopsie. But to be fair, like there's a lot of really hard emotions that they probably haven't dealt with, and maybe they.
I mean, just the fact that the mom's response to having a child with someone else was to
go through an
illegal adoption.
Yeah, kind of.
That was their first. They're like, we need to get rid of this child.
Yeah, let's just give it up to the highest bidder. Like, come on, get your crap together. But
especially because they already had kids.
They had 2 kids beforehand.
That is a crazy response.
And
after
3 kids
having
after.
2 kids already.
Yeah, but I guess it's like, is it that hard to give a kid up to regular adoption things?
I mean, it's hard to adopt. I don't know if it's necessarily that hard.
Can't you just like leave it at any fireman's doorstep?
Sad.
I literally,
perhaps better than illegal adoption though.
Okay, they're at the fire station around the corner from here. There is a place to put infants. There's a little box, and it's like, here's your infant box, and people can just throw them in there.
Is it hard?
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That's a thing you can do. You can just leave babies places.
Don't do that, guys.
But you can. You can. No one's gonna stop you.
Adoption.
But I wonder, like, all right, this is what I wonder. Would you rather be raised in the foster system or adopted by random Europeans?
Yeah. Would you rather be illegally adopted
by random Europeans
or placed in a box in a fire station?
Is that not crazy that you could just drop a kid off in a fire station box?
We're doing a poll. Would you rather?
Yeah, yes, you can leave a baby anywhere without any questions.
Get left.
Because babies are being left in unsafe places.
Wait, should we say, would you rather leave your baby or get laughed at?
Would you rather be adopted illegally or left at a baby box?
Okay, bye.
Fire station. This is such a random question. Would you be adopted illegally by Europeans? It's to stop babies being thrown into garbage cans.
Dang, people are garbage cans.
Yeah, people are garbage cans. Depends on the European parents. Do they want a kid as a servant? So roll the dice either way, especially with how American foster system works. Yeah, the American foster system, not good.
It's not good.
Let's get into the edit. So commenters point out that I should add some information, so here it is. My parents told me explicitly that they would not tell my brother. They said multiple times that they would not tell because my brother would never forgive them. Also, they had 40 years to tell him and never did. So it was never their intention to disclose the information. He's 40 years old? That's so old. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I realize that calling my sisters to the meeting might not be ideal for you guys, and I see how it can piss some people off, but I thought about having trouble dealing with my brother's reaction there and not being able to handle it, and I guess that could be done in some different ways, but now I can't go back and do it differently. Also, it looks like more people are saying left at a fire station, so you'd rather be left at a fire station than be adopted by Europeans.
Angiala says, I remember a story where they flushed a baby down the toilet.
They had to cut the kid out? Of the pipes?
That's a horrible
Where
story.
he gets flushed down.
So sad.
Stop saying 40 is so
No,
old.
40 is so old to learn that you.
I didn't say 40 is old. I did say 40 is so old. It's 40 is so old
to learn this information.
To learn this information. Jeez. Taking everything I say out of context. Come on. Give me a breaky. You're busting my balls. Also saying that I did for the spectacle was rich of some commenters. How is this a situation anyone would want to be in? It is nothing glamorous, nothing that I ever wished for anyone. My grandparents are pissed at me. Yeah, we are from Latin America, so I could never have done such horrible things as to expect my sacred parents to deal with the consequences of their actions. They will hate me for a while and it will pass. I've got the same, you are killing your mother when I get a tattoo, so I'm used to it. You're killing your mother. I don't hate my parents. I'm not wanting to hurt them. It's something that needed to be done. I couldn't fathom the thought of strangers at a small town knowing more about my brother's life than him and his kids. I am okay with the never comments. Please express yourself. Getting people's perspective was the whole point of this, but telling me how you would handle it differently is just pointless now. You know, I can't change the past. Much love to you all. And some relevant comments. Maleficent Might 5448 says, no, OP is not the a-hole. The parents should have come clean long ago. And Happy Summer Breeze says, this isn't anyone's business except one child and the parents, which I guess maybe is against OP. And then Creepy Bathroom 2349 says, fair, but OP learned it before their own brother. Would you want randos around your town knowing more about your life than you? OP found out and gave the parents an ultimatum. They made their choice. And that's where it is.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. So yeah, do DNA tests help more than they hurt? I think this is honestly a good thing that he found out.
Yeah, no, I think this was needed.
Yeah.
And also it wasn't OP found out through a cousin.
OP found out through a cousin.
Yeah. Someone else.
Which means someone else spilt the bean.
Someone else spilled the DNA bean.
Someone else spilled the DNA all over the floor. But yeah, I think I feel like generally the truth being revealed is good.
Yeah, I think there is. I get we've talked about an age appropriate way to reveal it, but a 40-year-old man deserves to know.
Is so
so old.
So old. What do you say to how would you tell a 40-year-old person that they were adopted?
I go, hey, buddy, don't want to tell you this, but you're adopted. Keep it short and simple.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to beat around the bush. He's 40 years old.
Yeah. The clock is ticking.
He's so old.
To learn this information now. To learn this information now. All right. Well, should we get into this next story?
Yeah.
Am I the a-hole for wanting to cancel my parental rights after finding out my son isn't mine? This comes from Small Accident 8006, but this feels like a big accident. So, I male 26 guy who has been raising a 4-year-old boy, and up until recently, I believed he was my biological son. His mom and I dated for about a year, and shortly after we broke up, she told me she was pregnant. I accepted it without question, and I've been there for the boy ever since.
The boy.
Over the past few months, I started noticing that he doesn't really look like me. Friends and family made casual comments that fueled my suspicions, so I decided to get a DNA test without telling his mom because I didn't want to cause any drama if my doubts were unfounded.
Okay. What do you think about that? About getting a DNA test without asking or talking about it?
I think it breaks the trust in the relationship.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's
do you think it would be better for him to go and accuse her and then maybe be wrong? Or is it just a matter of if you're having those things, you gotta get them out in the open?
I'm more for out in the open.
Yeah.
Probably more drama.
Yeah.
Probably more drama to say something than to not say something. Generally, I feel like in situations like this, we've said, tell your partner, but just know when you tell your partner, the potential for the relationship to be over is high.
Yeah. Well, I think in general, if you're going to get a DNA test, that is going to maybe irreparably damage your relationship.
Well, they're not even together anymore. They broke up.
Oh.
So
they already?
I guess if they broke up, I think it's fine for him to get a DNA test. He doesn't
that doesn't. I think especially because they broke up.
Yeah.
him
Yeah, so
needing
they're
to know.
so they're not together. So because they broke up, I feel like he could do it. In past stories,
Yeah.
when people were together, it's like you got to bring
That's
it
a
to the
different
relationship. But I think this is a different situation because they broke up.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
So when the results came back, they confirmed my fears. I am not his biological father. I confronted his mom about it. She broke down and admitted that around the time we broke up, she had a one-night stand with another guy. She wasn't sure who the father was, but when she found out she was pregnant, she figured it was easier to just let me believe the boy was mine. She said it was a mistake and that she's sorry. But she also insisted that I'm still his dad because I've been the one raising him.
I mean, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, I feel
At
like
that point, he is.
I think one election cycle and that's your kid.
That's your that's your kid. We've always said that.
I actually think for like 3 years, maybe not.
I honestly think the
one election
moment they
cycle.
start to know you.
Well, the age of like the moment they say data.
Well, no, that would be really early on. Maybe.
Because what? Well, the age of reason is like 7.
No.
You start making memories around like 6.
That's not true because I have memories from when I was 4.
I think women have memories earlier.
That can't be true. You're telling me you don't have any memories from when you were 4?
I have no memory before age 12.
You're telling me that you don't remember anything from kindergarten?
I remember nothing
That
except stories that I've repeated in my head.
that can't be true.
I don't remember anything.
Because I have very vivid memories from.
That's because you have a good memory. Let's see. When do children start making long term?
Yeah, Jacqueline Chenard says memories around 3 to 4. That's what I think my first memory.
Yeah, children start forming long-term memories around age 3 to 4. This period marks the beginning of autobiographical memory, which includes personal experience and events. However, the ability to form detailed and enduring long-term memories continues to develop throughout early childhood.
Yeah, so okay, this just adds to my point of around 3 or 4. That's when I think once your kid starts to know you.
Yeah, I think 4 would be the cutoff.
4 is the cutoff because after that, it's like you've you've built a bond.
You built, yeah. I feel he still. I imagine he would be devastated, but like I feel like
Devastating. Yeah, absolutely devastating. But at that point, I don't know. I think
would you still
if you
raise a
love
child that wasn't yours after 4 years?
I think so. Yeah, I think as long as I was able to, because you don't have parental rights. But well, actually, do you have parental? Do you have any parental rights if you've been raising?
He may be on the birth. Oh, he's not on the birth certificate, or is he?
He's on the birth
he
certificate.
may be on the birth certificate.
Okay, so he might have parental rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I was in the scenario, I would continue to raise the child.
I wonder if I would. I think I would be. I think I would be too attached to the kid to not remember. All right. So I was devastated. I felt betrayed and used. I told her I wanted to cancel my parental rights and get my name off the birth certificate.
Okay, so he has parental. I guess that was the title of the thing.
Yeah, he has parental rights.
I forgot, right?
She pleaded with me not to do it, saying that it would destroy the boy, but
Destroy the boy.
You'll destroy the boy. Destroy him. Saying that it would destroy the boy, but I feel like I've been living a lie. I talked to a lawyer and they said it might be possible to relinquish my rights, but it's complicated. In the meantime, I've been distancing myself from the boy, which has been incredibly hard. He's confused and keeps asking why I'm not spending time with him.
Oh.
My friends are divided. Some think I have every right to walk away because I was deceived. Others think I'm being heartless because, biological or not, the boy sees me as his father. So, am I the a-hole for wanting to cancel my parental rights and get my name off the birth certificate after finding out the boy isn't my biological son?
I mean, he's definitely valid in feeling that, like, betrayal and feeling like he's not sure, he's definitely fair in not knowing how to feel about his relationship with his son.
I feel like it could be both. You know, it's like, I think it is both. Like, he has every right to walk away because he's been deceived.
Yeah, but
also
that
it is a heartless thing to do to the kid.
I agree. I was gonna say he's definitely fair. However, I think that's your son. I think at that point that is your son.
4 years. I mean, that's like that's I don't know. Like, also,
you've been there for him his first steps.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, you know.
First steps.
Hopefully. What?
Oh, hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
You've been there for your first steps. I mean, if he's 4, so he probably at the very
school,
least
preschool.
is potty trained.
Yeah.
Because you said only big boys go to Chuck E. Cheese.
4 is you're doing a lot. Like
You're
as
doing
a
lot at
person who
4.
babysits.
You're talking. You're asking questions like, why are you not hanging out with me?
You're fully capable of understanding things.
Yeah. Celtic Kit says, I wonder if his feelings toward the child have changed. I think,
But it seems like he doesn't know how he feels about the kid.
I mean, I feel like he's just so hurt.
Yeah.
He's just so hurt.
Yeah, I was about to say, Duchess Cassandra says, calling him the boy, though.
The boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my son. Well, it's not. He's saying it's not my son. It's the boy. This boy. Holly Fraser says therapy before deciding.
That's a good. Yeah.
I think, and like when we say therapy, like it's not like some therapist is gonna be like magic wand, you're fixed, and here's what you should do. But I think it just helps talk out
what
the
you're
decision
feeling.
because this is such a big decision, and like both, like either way that he does it, it's going to be it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be, I feel like I'm like having a heart to heart, like, you know, like either way that you do it, like any way you slice it, this is gonna be massively hard. So it's
Agreed.
like, what hard do you want to choose? Do you want to choose the abandoning your son hard, or do you want to choose the staying with your son hard, or the boy?
The boy.
Yeah. But we do have more to this story. So, relevant comments. OP on how the possibility can be if he's not the father when he was the ex. We were together when she got pregnant. She didn't find out until after we broke up. I'm not even mad she cheated because that was years ago and we're not together. She knew that might not be my kid and didn't say anything. On if he was there for the birth, no, we broke up before he was born. Neat Walrus 3813 says, not the a-hole. Get that legal process started ASAP. Go see a therapist yourself, even if only for a couple of months, so you know how to talk to this little dude and can wrap your head around this craziness. Recommend this child and his mother begin counseling. Yes, even at 4, so she knows how to explain the situation to the kid, etc. Hard situation, but not your kid, not your lies, not your problem.
I disagree.
I do like a lot of this advice though. Like get a therapist. Like all this advice is good.
I just
like
don't know about the not your problem.
legal process started ASAP because it's like, I mean, because I guess he has to pay for the kid, right? So it's Lexi says it's not the child's fault. I would still have empathy for how it will affect him for sure, but it's also like this situation was caused out of her lies. So it's not like, yes, it sucks for the kid, but it really isn't. The moral weight is on
her for sure.
Is on her. And also, should we tell the real dad? Slithy Toves. Should we tell the real Slithy Toves? Should we tell the real dad?
Yeah.
Because maybe the real dad wants a chance to be with his son. Love Bubble says the boy deserves to know the truth, but go gently. Yeah, I feel like we need to know have the real dad in there. But Opie responds, thanks. I started the process already, and I should be fine because I have a way better lawyer than her. And then Mr. Porterice in Reddit says, if she carried this lie for this long, she is capable of far worse. Should she peg you for child support? With your name being on the birth certificate and you being the present father, she can do some serious financial damage to you. And it could take a while and thousands of dollars before you can get free of the entire situation. Courts will not recognize privately done tests, so get a court-ordered test done. That way, you could be freed of any financial responsibility except for that which you choose, and you can still interact with the child if you desire, not the a-hole. And there is an update. Akamori says she didn't lie, though. She did. She didn't say she cheated, and she didn't say there was a possibility.
No. She didn't. Apparently, she didn't cheat. Well, we don't know if. Oh, sorry. She did cheat.
She did cheat.
The cheating wasn't how she got the kid. It must have been.
I think
it must have been.
Maybe it was a one-night stand. You said it was a one-night stand.
It would have to have been.
Yeah.
Because for him to be like, oh, this is my kid, it would have had to been cheating.
Yeah. So.
So she cheated. So she lied about. No.
Yeah. So just to be clear, she had a one-night stand with another guy, but she wasn't sure who was the father. But then she found out she was pregnant. She figured it would be easier just to let me believe the boy was mine.
Yeah.
And then they broke up later.
Sophia Callan, I believe they broke. I don't know if they broke up over the cheating, but he did find out that she cheated during the relationship.
So some clarity.
Yeah.
We were together when she got pregnant. She didn't find out until after we broke up.
Yes.
I'm not even mad she
Joke.
cheated because that was years ago and we're not together.
Yeah. So they did. They did cheat.
She did cheat. So yeah, she 100% cheated.
She 100% cheated. He knew about that. Didn't know about the fact that the kid wasn't his. That was the thing.
And admitted, around the time we broke up, she had a one-night stand with another guy. So I think it might have been a little bit before. And she did cheat. OP said she did cheat.
Yeah. He says he did cheat. He just didn't care because it was later when he found out.
Sophia Callan says they were on a break. No, I don't think so. She did cheat.
Yeah.
It was around the time that they broke up. So like a little bit after, like she cheated, they broke up. Basically, it's like she cheated, they broke up. He didn't even know that she cheated, but they broke up for like other reasons. Then what happened is she got pregnant. He wasn't there for the birth because he knew after, or no, was he there for the birth? I believe because he's on the birth certificate. So I think he was there. I remember reading that he wasn't there for the birth though.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. OP on if he was there for the birth. No, we broke up before he was born.
Yes, that's what happened after they broke up.
Yeah. Timeline. She cheated. They broke up. She told him she was pregnant, had the baby, and OP wasn't there. Then
puts him down as the father.
OP didn't think that she had any other relations, and she didn't tell him about it and let him believe that he was the father.
And then he finds out a couple years later or maybe months later, that she cheated.
During
their relationship.
So yes, she 100%
all that to
lied.
Say she lied.
She 100% lied and is a scumbag. So going back, there is an update. I wanted to give an update after my last post where I found out the boy I've been raising isn't my biological son. This has been really hard and I appreciate all the advice and support from everyone. I realized my first reaction was full of anger, but deep down I couldn't ignore how much I love the boy. He may not have my DNA, but for the past 4 years, he's been my son in every way that matters. I decided to call his mom and have a real talk. I started by apologizing for how I'd been acting since the DNA test results. I told her that my distance wasn't about the boy, but my struggle to handle everything. I said I want to stay in the boy's life, even though he's not my biological son. He's still my son. I can't imagine life without him. There we go. OP's growing a heart again. The thought of him growing up without a dad because of a mistake made years ago was too painful. I promised her I wouldn't walk away. She was relieved and grateful. It was clear she had been worried about how my absence was affecting him. We agreed to work together to make sure he feels loved and supported. We talked about co-parenting and making sure he doesn't feel the tension between us. After that call, I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders by deciding to stay. I felt like I was back where I belonged. To everyone who commented on my initial post, thank you. Your advice helped me see things differently. You made me realize that being a father isn't about biology. It's about love, commitment, and taking care of the boy every day.
I think this is just how he talks and not really an indicator of his feelings.
Your words reminded me of the bond I have with him and helped me see that walking away would hurt both of us. Which is why therapy, I'm committed to being there for her and being the best father I can be. Sometimes life throws unexpected challenges our way, but it's how we respond that matters. Thank you for helping me see that my bond with him is what truly matters and for guiding me back to what's most important, being a dad. And some relevant comments to close us out. Spare8723 says, just wait until your ex meets a guy willing to marry and adopt a kid. She will definitely use DNA in court to try to strip you of your parental rights. You are a dad until something better comes along. You will be cut out when that day arrives. This went poorly. Thanks, Reddit.
Yeah, I think the legal stuff means he has custody.
Yeah, if he's on the birth certificate.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
OP says, I have custody. I'm on the birth certificate. Jasper Jamboree says, you can still be involved in her child's life while still protecting yourself legally. This is just to protect yourself from being taken advantage of in future, considering she did literally take advantage of you over the last few years. Good luck. I feel like, honestly, it would be a good idea to protect himself.
Yeah.
Slithy Tove says you don't trust her at all. Yeah, don't trust her at all. She's slimy. F Smart says, not the a-hole. You should ask your attorney if there's any value in her signing a statement claiming she believes the bio father is not you. And that gives us, do DNA tests do more harm than good? I think in this case, it actually did good.
Yeah.
I think the truth being out is better. It's always better. Truth out in the open as often as possible so the boy can be loved. All right, should we get into this next story? Am I the a-hole for cutting my child's inheritance? So this comes from a Apprehensive Grab 27. They say, backstory. 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
46 female. Oh no, lost my husband. Sorry, I need to adjust my tone. I, 46 female, lost my husband in an accident and I was heartbroken. We had 3 children and I thought we were happy until his mistress showed up at my door demanding money to support the child my husband fathered. I
know nothing about the story, so hopefully it's okay to read it.
Wow. I didn't believe her, but she was able to prove it with screenshots, messages, etc. The image that I had of my husband was forever tainted, and he left me with the mess. Because of bitterness about the betrayal and how offended I was by the mistress's lack of remorse and entitlement, I told her she wasn't getting a dime and that she shouldn't have slept with a married man. She kept harassing me, and when it wasn't going to work, she went to my husband's family to put pressure on me to give her what she wanted. She even tried to involve my children, leveraging her silence for money. I knew that once I gave her money, she would come back, so I told them myself. My husband and I have well-paying jobs, lucrative investments, savings, and I got a sizable amount from the life insurance policy. I consulted a lawyer, and while she could prove the affair, it didn't prove paternity. And since my husband wasn't on the birth certificate, nor could she prove that my husband acknowledged the child, she had no case. Whoa.
What exactly is she, just for my clarity, what exactly is she trying to do?
She's
here?
asking for money for child support for her kid that was fathered. She says was fathered by OP's husband, who is dead.
Oh, so is going to OP and saying you have to pay up for that.
Yeah, out of the life insurance policy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but as of now, cannot prove paternity.
Can't prove it. Yeah. After my lawyer sent her a strongly worded letter, I didn't hear from her for a while and thought it was over until my oldest, Alex, 19 female, came to me and said that she did a DNA test with the mistress behind my back.
Traitor.
She said that she did it because she wanted to get this resolved. The child deserved to know who their father was and get financial support that they were owed. My husband had a will that stated each of his children were to split an inheritance that they would only have access to when they went to college and couldn't get full control until the age of 25. When the results came back proving that my husband was indeed the father, the mistress took me to court. Whoa.
Oh.
I mean...
Okay. I don't know exactly how I feel about this because on one hand, I'm like, well, if he is the father, the baby should be receiving child support.
Yeah. But also, like, I guess the 19-year-old was like, this needs, my mom's not going to do anything. And I need to go behind her back to make sure this happens. Or like what I believe is right happens. But you really put like OP in a really hard situation.
In a really, really hard situation.
Because I mean that like lawyers ain't cheap. So it was a long legal battle, but eventually a settlement was made. I sat Alex down and explained to her that her inheritance would be split 50-50 between them and her half siblings as part of the settlement agreement. When she asked if my other children had to split theirs, I told Alex no. My husband's will stated that it had to be split, but it didn't say it had to be split equally. And until each of the children turned 25, I had full control. Alex was upset, saying that it wasn't fair. I countered saying that it wasn't fair that my other 2 children had to get a lesser share because my eldest choices. And if they wanted their full share, they shouldn't have done the DNA test. There's still plenty of money for Alex to finish college. She just won't have much after that. And I do plan on dividing my own estate equally in my own will. All of this Alex knows, but they are still giving me the cold shoulder. My own siblings think that it wasn't fair and I'm punishing Alex for doing right by her half sibling, but I don't see it that way. Am I the a-hole? And there is a thick, juicy update.
Oh.
Wow, there's a lot of updates.
Ooh, I conflicted.
Yeah, I'm conflicted too. I mean, I think...
Yeah, Trisha D says Alex made the decision, so Alex can face the consequences.
I guess like what is completely fair is that it's split equally between the 4 children.
Yes.
That's what I guess is completely fair. So Alex should not have any issues with that at the very least, right? Like,
yeah, if it were if
it was split equally, yeah, she definitely should get less.
Yeah.
But it only being taken out of
yeah. Because, okay, I guess what I'm feeling right now is because a lot of people are saying Alex messed up. She went behind the mom's back. The thing I'm feeling is that the stepchild or not a fair child, but whoever the person asking for money, the affair partner, that child does deserve some support, child support.
Yes.
But is it necessarily OP's responsibility? I don't know.
I think, is it OP's responsibility? It is the responsibility of the father,
yes,
to provide for all
Agreed.
his children.
Yeah.
And now the father is kind of this life insurance policy. So
yes,
if a father, like if a father's supposed to support all of his children equally, and now the father is kind of like,
and it says in the will that it's supposed to be given to all his kids equally,
or it's supposed to be split,
given
but
all
not
of his
necessarily
kids.
equally.
Yeah,
Which I feel like is
a
semantics.
loophole. Yeah,
Loophole. I feel like the right thing to do is to give inheritance to all children equally.
Yes, I think that is the right thing to do.
The responsibility of the father's estate. Yeah, it was the dad's money, so it should go to all the kids equally, says Jellybutt. That's what I feel too. And it's like the 19-year-old was like, I don't think she was doing it selfishly. She was trying to do what was right. Like, I don't think she was trying to get back at her mom or anything.
Yeah, I think it's still a little bit messy that she went behind her mom's back to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Always Reading says he never claimed the child on the certificate. I think doesn't mean that the child doesn't deserve support.
Yeah, it's still his kid.
It's still his kid.
So Dixie Blue Steel says, we are kind of in this situation, but we are all older. We split inheritance 3 ways unless mom goes first. If mom goes first, it's split between my sister and I. Oh, I see. Well, then what if if it's split 3 ways and then your mom dies, does her stuff get split with your sister and I, or your sister and you too?
I think maybe another way to do this is to have like calculated what the child support would be.
I mean, I think definitely some kind of support.
I think some kind of support should be given to this kid.
Yeah, but let's get back into this update. So thank you to everyone's responses, even the ones calling me the a-hole. But based on a few frequent questions, comments, and or themes, I feel like I need to clarify some things. Alex is my daughter, not my son. When I first started writing this, I wanted to leave gender out of it in case it influenced people's judgment. But then I remembered that Reddit tends to prefer that age and gender get mentioned, so I added 19 female at the last minute. Hope that clears it up a little. My other 2 children are Junior, 17 male, and Sam, 14 female. The half sibling is now 5. When my husband drafted the will 10 years ago, he initially named just our children, but a friend of ours had an oops baby, so he changed it to be just his children in case we had another one. At least that's what he told me. After the mistress threatened to tell my children, and I decided to tell them. I sat them all down and I explained the situation. They were understandably devastated and asked if they really had another sibling. I told them that I didn't know and that if the mistress could prove it, she might get some money. I told them that if they wanted to know if they had a sibling or not, we could find out, but I made sure that they understood that their inheritance could be affected. And other people might come out claiming the same thing and get more money. Initially, all of my children said that they didn't want want to have to deal with that. And so I did everything that I could to protect them. But I guess Alex had a change of heart. Until the DNA test, I had no reason to believe that my husband's mistress was telling the truth and acted accordingly. I kept following my lawyer's advice, and if she wanted money, the burden of proof was on her. While some of you might think I was the a-hole, please understand that my decision wasn't spiteful. If I really wanted to punish Alex, I would just tell them they weren't getting any more money since they already used some of it for their first year of college, so the guidelines of the will there technically already were met. I still plan on leaving them an equal share of inheritance from my estate too. And there is a big juicy update and another big juicy update. This is full of big juicy updates.
Yeah. I think the fact that all the kids went to her and had that discussion of we don't want to go through with this, and then Alex changed her mind.
I feel like it just, like Slithy Toves says, Alex betrayed the whole family. I feel this context, it does feel like more of a betrayal.
I think the thing is that it would feel more like a punishment if OP were to split the entire inheritance, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, so if all of the kids had to split their inheritance rather than just Alex for the
it would feel like more of a punishment in
to
what way?
Those kids. So I basically what I'm saying is right now we were like, oh, is OP punishing Alex for going behind her back? Whereas I'm saying it feels more like OP would be punishing her other kids if she just split the inheritance 4 ways or 3 ways.
So you're saying, it's more of a punishment because all of the kids are now affected?
Yes. And she talked to them and said, what do you want to do? And they all agreed they didn't want to handle that. And then Alex went behind the back. So I guess I think it would be more a punishment to the other kids when they already agreed on one thing and then Alex changed her mind. Because I think if Alex had come to her mom and said, hey, I think I want to do this. I think that I feel that this kid owes something. I feel that we should figure out. And then
the
they
mom's
have a
like,
conversation.
hey, if you we're down to do this, but just know it's going to be
it's going to be out of your inheritance. Because your other siblings did not agree to this.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a conversation that could have, cleared things up.
Kimberly Fine says, the conversation with the kids followed by Alex's actions changes things completely. The gravity of her financial choice should only be placed on her. Yeah, just think about all the money spent on lawyers. Yeah.
I think right now I'm like, the kid deserves some of this money, but Alex also did go behind people.
Yeah. So there is an update. So thank you so much for so many responses, even the ones who didn't 100% agree with me, because it did give me perspective. I also wanted to give an update and an answer to some questions to anyone who was curious, so here it goes. Since I told Alex what would be happening, she told her siblings, and the house has been pretty tense. To try to make peace, I spoke to each of my children one-on-one and as a group to figure out what to do next. I spoke to Alex first, and some interesting information was revealed that I'm very angry about. Apparently, the mistress created a fake profile account and manipulated my daughter into befriending her.
Someone did just say this, and I was wondering this too, of like, how did they get in contact? I was thinking that she manipulated Alex. I was thinking this.
Wait.
This is exactly
after
what I was
gaining
thinking.
My daughter's trust, she pretended that she was in a similar situation as her and said that a DNA test would prove that there wasn't any paternity. When Alex went behind our backs, she thought that it would prove the mistress was trying to scam us. My son, Junior 17 male, is furious that Alex went behind our backs and doesn't care why she did it and blames her for being stuck with a half sibling he doesn't want.
Oh my God. Okay. Wait, sorry. So Alex thought that the kid was not.
Yeah. And was like manipulated by this person into doing it because it's like, guess what? Like, if you actually get this DNA test, you'll prove that the mistress is not really, doesn't really have your father's baby.
Honestly, doesn't change my reaction to Alex. She still went behind her back.
She still went behind the back.
Yeah, but does add.
But she went behind the back to be a hero, not a villain.
Yes, yeah. So it does change the content. Yeah. Also, someone said, why do I think the other kids should be punished? I was saying they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I was saying that's bad.
Yeah, Jellybus says, Alex was used. Yeah, Alex was manipulated. And, it's like she's like 19, so. Yeah.
Alex was manipulated in a way that she thought she was behaving for the benefit of her family.
Yeah, when she
still
really
a
wasn't.
Stupid move.
Still stupid, but, she's 19. I asked my children that since they now know the truth, would they want a relationship with their half-sibling? Junior clearly wants nothing to do with the child and says that Alex should feel lucky he still considers her a sister.
Damn.
Sam says she doesn't want to, and I feel it's because she's in denial and wants to live life pretending that her father is perfect. Alex admits that she is curious but never wants to see or hear from the mistress ever again, so she doesn't think a meeting will ever be possible. I proposed family therapy, and while my girls are open to it, my son says that therapy is only for people who have something broken in them and that he's not broken. He's now happy that his father is dead and wants to change his last name as soon as he turns 18. I'm not going to force him, but I do hope he changes his mind one day.
This boy needs therapy.
He needs therapy probably the most.
He needs therapy for sure the most.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there is some edits for clarification because I keep seeing this. Before I made my first post, before I told Alex what was going to happen with her share of the trust, the settlement was already finalized, so there is no still cutting because it's already done. Technically, I could go back and renegotiate the terms of the settlement, but the mistress could try and come back for more money. Initially, she wanted the entire life insurance policy. Ooh. 50% of the trust for just her child and 50% of my husband's savings. That's crazy. Her argument was since that I was still working and had a high-paying job, my children and I didn't need the money, and she was a struggling single mother. I am honestly getting exhausted with everything to deal with that woman anymore and don't want to spend more on legal fees. Edit 2. I have not now, nor have I ever blamed Alex for her father cheating on me. That is ridiculous, and I don't know how people are coming to that conclusion, especially when I never said that it was her fault. And edit 3, I'm coming to the realization that some people believe that Alex is getting absolutely nothing, which isn't true. There's still plenty of money from the trust for her to finish college. She lives at home, rent free. I pay all of her bills, give her an allowance, allow her to use the car that's in my name, and she will get an equal share of my estate when I pass. And there is one final update.
Ooh.
But whoa, what a
this
doozy W story, Sophia. So I, 14 female, lost my dad in an accident. Reddit Christmas. We're getting from another perspective. We're getting a perspective of the sister, the 14 female.
I literally found
This is great. Reddit Christmas. I love it. So I, 14 female, lost my dad in an accident almost 3 years ago, and I was so upset. 1 minute he was there, and one day my mom and grandparents sat me, my sister, 19 female, and brother, 17 male, down to say that he was in the hospital, and 3 days later, he was gone. I love my dad so much, and while I knew he wasn't perfect, I still thought he was a great man. Then, one day my mom, 46 female, sat me down and my siblings down again and told us that a woman was going around claiming that her child was also dad's. They're younger than me, which meant my father cheated. We were all very upset and refused to believe that our dad would be so horrible. Only reason my mom was telling us was because the woman threatened to if she wasn't given money to go away. From that day forward, I knew I would hate her for the rest of my life because we were starting to get used to my dad not being around, and she shoves her greedy hands into our family. My mom offered to do a DNA test to prove if this child was really our half-siblings. My siblings and we all said no. It was a stressful battle for my mom, but she fought for us, and eventually the woman went away. Then my sister decided to do the darn DNA test behind our backs and proved my dad wasn't a good person. I don't know if I can ever forgive my sister for doing that to me. My sister is upset that my brother and I don't support her decision, but I don't see why I should. I wanted this woman to go away forever, but now that there's undeniable proof that she had my dad's last child, unless there's another baby out there somewhere, my paternal grandparents want a relationship, and they want me to just accept it and be a big sister. I don't want to. My brother is hardcore against this and wants to legally change his name when he turns 18. I'm honestly thinking of changing my surname too because my parental family is starting to be really awful to my mom. My grandma is acting like having this child around is a blessing, and it's incredibly insulting to my mom. But I guess her feelings don't matter to them anymore. For Christmas, my paternal side wants to all do a Zoom meeting so we can officially meet my dad's other child, give them presents, and tell them we can't wait to see them in person. I don't want to do that. I don't want to see my dad's mistress. I don't want to pretend that I have good feelings toward this kid. I don't know them and don't care to know them. Their existence is just a painful reminder of the awful thing my dad did, how little he cared about my mom, and how easily replaceable I am as the baby of the family. My paternal aunts know that this situation isn't ideal, but they think I'm being selfish and need to learn to get past what's happened. But I don't see why I should. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to join a Zoom chat to meet my new sibling? I mean, you're 14. You don't got to do anything.
No. Oh, yeah. This OP is not the a-hole for not wanting
OP, you're not the a-hole. But go to family therapy.
Please.
Woo! Oh my goodness. I love it when we get other perspectives, but it pretty much lined up with everything that the mom said.
Yeah.
Which is good, which it means we got some reliable narrators in this house. But yeah, Chronic K says not the A. Trisha D says, I would never trust Alex again, ever. Yeah, I mean, it is a bad thing to go against the wishes of your family. But also know that Alex was manipulated by the mistress. So like, you know, let that give some context. Had good intentions.
Does not
an idiot.
Discount that she made a large mistake and that affected her whole family.
Yeah. And now she has to sit with 50% less inheritance. Get F, dude. Yeah, what a story. Akamori says, so she's clinging to the last child. I mean, I guess maybe the grandparents are clinging to the last child.
Because they lost their son.
Yeah, and so they just want.
Yeah, but just I was just saying.
But by trying to like unite these two families, they're kind of losing the original family.
Yeah, I think it doesn't make sense to expect them to want to welcome this affair child in.
Yeah, why would you want that at all? Like, you know, the mistress should just take care of her kid with the money she has in silence. You know, maybe
she got her money. I don't know why. Yeah,
maybe you know she got her money. Maybe the grandparents. Maybe the grandparents are a little bit the a-holes who are forcing this unification. You know, like the mistress is definitely a hole for you know hooking up with a married person and hooking up with a married person. I actually don't know if she's the a hole for manipulating Alex, but I don't know if she's the a hole for going after the money in general.
I think the money is owed to her. Well, she's the a hole for
the
having
way
an
she's
affair.
going about it. Yeah, a hole for having the affair.
Yeah, a hole for having an affair. A hole for the way she went about it, manipulating
but
Alex.
She is owed now that she has a kid. She is owed. Like I think the money. Yeah. Like the money is deserved.
Yes.
But I think the mom is not the a-hole. She did everything right.
I don't think I don't think OP is the a-hole.
Alex is not the a-hole because she is manipulated and trying to do what's best.
Yeah.
But
I think her actions are
bad
though.
But I think the grandparents are the a-hole for sure for trying to put it together.
Yeah. I was gonna say going back to Alex's a-holery or not, I agree. I think she was manipulated, but I think that the consequences she received were fair. Of having her inheritance split with this affair child. I think she's not the a-hole because she was manipulated, but I think the consequences she received for the mistake that she made were fair.
Oh, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the 50-50 split, like based on all the context we get, the 50% coming out of her inheritance, I think does make sense. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she made that mistake and she went behind her family's back. Even though it was for good reasons, she still did that.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
the end of the story.
Yeah. And this episode.
Yeah, this episode. So that brings us back to the question, are DNA tests good? Do they do more harm than good, or do they do more good than harm?
Yeah.
I think, again, in this scenario, like...
Even though it did make their lives more difficult, I think it was still a necessary thing.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole for refusing to tell my family which of my baby girls I adopted? And this comes from usernames be hard. True, because they do be. I, a single 20-year-old female, gave birth to a baby girl about 2 months ago. And at the same time, adopted a second baby girl who was born about 3 days before. So one made and one obtained.
I wonder about the impetus,
What's the impetus of this situation?
Or perhaps what is the catalyst?
All right, so... the daughter that I had in my uterus, I will call Rose, and the daughter that I didn't carry, I will call Lily. I got pregnant with Rose about the same time that my best friend, who I'll call Anna, got pregnant with Lily. While I was ecstatic about being pregnant, Anna was not. And this is the best friend, who I'll call Anna, who got pregnant with Lily.
Yes.
Anna felt that she wasn't in a good place emotionally, financially, or any other way to have a child. She told me she was considering terminating the pregnancy, but that she wished her child could have a good life somewhere else instead of just being thrown away. But anytime she pictured putting her child up for adoption, she remembered all the stories of abusive adoptive parents. She said that she felt helpless because there didn't seem to be any good answers. And that's when I came up with a hesitant plan. So now we're getting the impetus.
The impetus!
The impetus is here.
Impetus!
We decided that if after Lily's birth, Anna still didn't feel like she could raise her, I would adopt Lily and raise the girls as twins. Anna didn't want Lily to know she was adopted, but I hated the idea of lying to a daughter of mine. We decided that once Lily was old enough to understand, I would explain that she was adopted. If at that point Anna felt ready, we would tell Lily that Anna was her bio mom. And if not, then we would say that her mother wasn't ready for her to know who she was.
Ooh.
This way, Lily could live her life. Anna didn't need to be worried about Lily because she could check on her anytime, and Anna would be able to continue working on getting her life in order. All right, really quick
Okay.
pause.
Yes.
What do we think about the lie?
Ooh.
So OP
That-
is lying to the daughter potentially.
That might mess up Lily in the long term
Yeah.
to find out that her mother has been right there the whole time.
Or is that
Because-
cute? It's like, my mom's been right here the whole time.
Well, I think
understand. Yeah.
I think what a scenario that could be is
Yeah.
like Anna, the friend, right, with the baby. Anna could be kind of like an auntie,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, this is your. Maybe you could honestly even explain it like, hey, you came from Anna. You see your nose, you got your nose from her, and because it sounds like she'd know her and have some involvement in her life.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I feel like if you
Be an auntie.
continue to give, and this is something
Yeah.
we've talked about on the show before, if you continue to give age appropriate truths
Yeah.
throughout their life, they're never going to be blindsided.
That's the thing that I feel like you have to be, what you said, you have to give those truths early on,
Yeah.
because just not like finding out
Later.
years down the line that your mother's been there the whole time. It's just, or
Could
like your
be
birth
traumatic.
mother, sorry.
It could be traumatic.
Yeah, I
So
think it all depends on how they.
so far,
Cheers.
we're saying you should not lie in this relationship.
I think no. I'm standing on
Yeah,
it.
I think no
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
Impetus.
I chose not to have any of my family in the room during the birth because I wasn't comfortable with them seeing me like that. And Anna was fighting with her family at the time, so Anna and I were the only ones in the room for each other during the births. After Lily was born, Anna still wanted me to adopt Lily and also said that she didn't want to be in her life more than she originally thought. We decided that she would be the godmother of both girls and I would be their mother. When it was time for us to go home, I organized a get together for my family to meet both of my daughters, and we went forward with the adoption.
Sorry, did you say she didn't want to be in their life, or she did want to be?
Basically, Anna also said that she did want to be
Okay,
in her
so
life
she
more
wants to
than
be
she originally thought.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I feel like
Godmother.
that
Godmother
plays into
status.
the scenario that I mentioned
Yeah.
before, where you could kind of be like the auntie.
Yeah. So as soon as my grandmother met my baby, she asked me which one was my daughter. And I replied, they both were. She rolled her eyes and said that I knew what she meant. I told her that no, I don't, because they're both my daughters. She got mad about that and asked me which one was my real daughter.
Ew.
And my parents backed her up, saying that I should tell them which daughter I had adopted. I got mad and asked them why it mattered. Both babies are my children. I'm breastfeeding both of them. I named both of them, and I was there through the entire pregnancy for both of them, even if I only carried one of them myself, which I understand,
I
a
understand
little
that
bit.
sentiment.
So here comes another lie. Do you lie to your family to make sure there's no favoritism between the two daughters?
I think there is.
I love John's thinking face.
I think there's a world where you could be like, I'm not telling you for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then once you tell your daughters, then, be like, okay, whoever knows is fine.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it should matter to the family, but just in concern to OP's lying or not. I think the route maybe could keep admit, not tell them the truth.
So you
Until
are
you
voting
tell-
towards lie to the family.
I don't know if I'm voting towards that, but I'm saying OP could do that up until they tell their daughter.
Choose. choose?
Okay, so lie.
Lie or no lie?
So Sophia
Tell
says
us.
lie until the truth is revealed to the daughters.
If she wants to do that.
So lie.
So lie. Sophia is saying it is good to lie in relationships.
Oh, that's not really a lie. It's just not telling. It's
The
a
truth.
lie of omission.
So lies of omission are okay.
No. No, it just depends
In
on
this
the
situation,
scenario.
in this situation, lies of omission
Yeah.
are okay.
Well, it's not a lie though. You're just
It
not.
is-
No,
it's
because
a-
they know exactly what you're hiding from them. So you're not lying. You're just not like it's a
Omitting
secret.
the truth. So omitting the truth is okay.
But you're not even admitting it. You're just being like.
You are omitting
Like
it.
you
Plead
can't
the fifth.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is okay to
You're
plead the fifth. It is our country given right.
Until the day comes when you tell the daughter.
Okay.
After
what do y'all
that,
think?
it
Put your
doesn't make
answers
sense.
in the chat. So this led to a fight with my family, insisting that I tell them which daughter is which, and me insisting that my grandmother apologized for implying that one of them wasn't my real daughter. My parents told me I am being dramatic, pointlessly stubborn, ridiculous, and that they just wanted to know when dealing with the girls which one was their granddaughter. Well, I kicked them all out. Dang.
Good.
And said that unless they apologized and stopped asking which daughter's adopted, they would not get to see either of them. After they left, I sent out a text saying that I will tell them which one is adopted when I explained to her that she is adopted. Shout out Sophia
Boom.
for the foreshadowing.
Boom. Boom.
Wow.
Boom. Bah.
Got him.
I like that. I like that.
Thanks.
But adopted or not, they are both my children.
Yeah.
Yes. 1,000%.
I think the reasons why she's making these decisions make a lot of sense to
Yeah.
protect the kids from favoritism.
To protect the kids from favoritism, I agree. I also reiterated that until I get an apology and they agree to view my daughters equally, they will not see the girls and I will not be talking to them. I received a massive amount of texts ranging from them demanding that I let them see the kids and telling me how I was cruel and selfish to deprive my daughters of their love, to pleading with me to tell them which girl is which and let them see my daughters. It would be so easy to just say like, hey, I'm going to treat both your daughters the same.
Yeah, you're cruel and selfish for only wanting to treat the one that's related to you by blood good and completely disregarding the other.
Yeah. After a few weeks of this, I said enough. The stress of trying to take care of two babies, adopt Lily, and deal with my family was too much. So I sent out another text telling them that I was serious when I said I won't tell them which daughter's adopted. I then told them that I can't take their constant texts anymore, and anyone that texts me something that doesn't start with an apology is getting blocked.
Yeah.
Good idea, bad idea? What do you think?
That's fair. Based off their behavior.
Anyone who comes to her with the same mindset of like, hey, I don't believe your adopted daughter is your real daughter, quote unquote,
Yeah.
you're blocked.
Out.
Yeah.
Which I feel like she has already given them all enough warning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
But
it's
she
just
keeps
like
telling them.
it's a barrage. Like she's at a breaking point, and now she's like, "I'm gonna block you if you keep doing that."
And it's just, again, it's just like, why would you ever treat an adopted daughter
Differently. Yeah. So most of my family realized I wouldn't back down and stop texting. I did have to block my brother, who sent me 2 paragraphs about why I should just give our parents and grandparents what they want because it isn't worth the fight.
Okay, then why are you? It's
I
not worth
also-
it to have you send a 2-paragraph message.
I know. Blocked. I also had to block my mom, who texted me to tell me that no one was going to help me take care of the children until I told them the truth about which is my real daughter. Why does it matter?
It literally doesn't matter.
The fact that they're behaving this way shows that they want to favor the bio child.
And that they will. And also, what grandparent isn't like, oh, I get 2 grandbabies
two
now?
babies.
Hooray! Double the baby!
Why don't
Yeah.
you want more babies?
Anna agrees with me that they shouldn't care which one is adopted and says she wishes that my family didn't even know that one girl was adopted. Well, yesterday both babies were crying. Lily needed a diaper change and Rose was hungry, and I realized that my mom was right. I can't be in both places at once, and I can't take care of them by myself. Luckily, Anna was there and she was able to take care of them both and get them settled. Because I broke down sobbing and was completely useless. Now I'm starting to wonder if I am a bad mother for not letting my daughters see their family, and if I have chosen the wrong hill to die on. P.S. Anna was able to cheer me up. We cuddled together, and with the babies on the sofa eating ice cream and chocolate most of the night. She is also the one who convinced me to write this post because she is obsessed with Reddit. And there is an update. There is an update. But yeah, what is like essentially OP is at a breaking point because she doesn't have any help from her family. And she's wondering, do I need the family's help more than I need to prove that to my family that both these people should be treated equally?
Yeah, I mean, raising 2 new babies at once is definitely a tall task.
Yeah.
She's definitely not the a-hole, to be clear.
No.
But I think the question is like, should she basically not die on this hill so she can get support from her family?
Yeah, she's like, is it like low-key better to have someone help tend and care for the needs of these babies because I might be spread too thin? I would say Anna's here. It kind of feels like
It
Anna's.
seems like they're co-parenting.
It seems like they're co-parenting, and that Anna's also getting like more involved as time goes on.
Yeah.
Like OP's like, I broke down, I couldn't do anything. Anna steps up to the plate.
Yeah.
Which is great. So
I think there's a level of maybe Anna, when she first found out she was pregnant, like fear of doing it alone, because we don't really know what the situation with the baby daddy was. And now faced with, well, I can do this. I want a relationship, or I want some kind of relationship with my child, and I have my friend to do it with me. And it seems maybe a little bit easier to Anna.
Yeah, but it still goes back to, I mean, like Anna, yes, is involved, but it seems like OP still needs the familial help regardless of Anna's involvement.
I don't think OP would be the a-hole for going back to her family.
I don't think so,
it's
but should
incredibly
she?
hard.
Is it worth basically,
Yeah.
is the familial help worth basically saying this is the truth?
low key, I think it could be because babies are like probably like the hardest to take care of. There's the most need time and attention that you need to put towards a baby, and 2, that's when they'll like remember and like soak in everything the least. So like if you like, let's say that the grandparents helped up until like the age of 1 or something like that, and then OP's like, hey, after all this time you're still not treating them equally, and obviously OP will have like a lot more like data and knowledge on how they've interacted. Maybe at that point you're like, you failed the test, I'm going to like safeguard them again so you don't like treat them wrong.
Also, bad idea. You switch it.
I was thinking the same.
You tell him the other baby is the bio baby. Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but then they might just test the babies
Is
anyway.
it so bad that it just might work? So crazy.
It's just.
Is this the impetus of an actually great idea?
Also, like, they need support, but not familial support. And do you want your children around people that are going to have bad values? But
but monetary support.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Like,
are your other options?
maybe OP doesn't have the funds to do that, right?
And
so
there's
it's like,
no fathers in the picture.
Exactly.
Like no second
No
parents
BDs.
providing a secondary income.
I think it's like, here's the combo. Here's the combo. You need help. Let's say you don't have enough funds for a nanny, which maybe it seems like OP doesn't. Tell the parents the opposite of what's true, and then have them help under your supervision.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
And then you ultimately reveal
Yeah.
it later. So then they do the reverse.
You're going with the switching?
That's what Sam is saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sam is legitimately suggesting it.
I'm legitimately, well, she needs help.
Yeah. Sure.
Are you saying she shouldn't have help?
No. I think she needs it.
Yeah.
I think she needs it.
But what do you guys think?
Yeah. Do you have
Put
any
your
better
answers.
ideas? I would understand if she went back to the.
Yeah, I would understand. And I think like only you can understand to what
You
extent
need, yeah.
help you
Only
need.
OP can decide if she needs that help more than she thinks, being around them is a bad idea.
Let's go into the update. Thank you so much for all the support. I was shocked when I saw how many people had commented because I honestly expected to find maybe 3 or 4. I tried to read through the comments quickly and I want to say a few things that I saw multiple people say. 1, everyone knows that Anna was pregnant and that one of them is her bio kid. Anna and I do look pretty similar on a basic level. We both have similar colors of brown hair, dark brown eyes, and we're both white. I'm a little darker than Anna. She is fair skinned and I always look like I have a tan. We also both got pregnant by a white guy. To me, at least, it isn't obvious which girl is whose bio kid. 2, Anna had been dating Lily's bio dad for maybe half a year, but when he heard that Anna was pregnant, he told her that he didn't want anything to do with the child. I got pregnant because I went to a party and was an idiot. I have contacted Rose's father, but he told me to give him time to think, so I have been waiting for him to come around.
He sucks.
3, I have not legally adopted Lily yet. Anna and I have agreed that Lily is my child and Lily is staying at my house, but Anna is still currently her legal guardian. Right now, we are trying to figure out where Lily's father went. 4, I think I saw several people saying that I don't know how much work 2 babies will be. I definitely did not know what I would be signing up for. Me and Anna thought we knew it would be hard, but this is not what I was expecting. Anna has been an absolute angel. She is probably the only reason I am still sane right now. After we realized our false expectations, Anna comes over almost daily, except for 2 days before I had a mini breakdown, and has fallen asleep at my house a few times while caring for the kids. Another friend of ours, who I'll call James, has also been stopping by. He doesn't help with the girls because, in his own words, I don't know what to do with the baby, but James makes food and cleans up the house a bit. I am eternally grateful to both James and Anna because I would be lost without them. 5, a lot of you point out that telling Lily when she is old is a bad idea, which we kind of talked about. We give age-appropriate answers for questions that come up. And I agree with you. That was my idea. I didn't really think about how that could affect her when she finds out if she was older. I'm going to talk to Anna about this because I don't want to cause my daughter any issues down the line. And that's where things end right now.
Whoa.
So it feels like OP is considering not lying to the daughter about the origin of where she comes from. But is thinking about not staying in touch with the family who keeps demanding that she tell them which baby is her biological baby. But do we think OP should lie to the family about which baby is hers?
I guess we're doubling down on this plan.
It's definitely grown on me. Actually, even when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Because it doesn't matter.
I thought it was a bad plan when I suggested it, but
now
that everyone kind of likes it.
I think it and also too, you know how like a lot of times the authors in these stories have to pull, like people are trying to pull this method of denial, oh, it's not this real daughter, so they kind of like give them a taste of their own medicine. That's kind of what it is, where it's like you were literally over here you built this connection and bond with this kid, and then you were like, oh, wait a second, it's really just like having this child who we have built this connection with and we're caring for it. That's the true meaning of family.
Yeah. I kind of love that Anna's coming more into the picture.
Yes.
You know, like the family is coming together.
I am wondering, and this is not necessarily like this is something that OP and Anna would have to figure out between themselves, but like what, as Anna gets closer and closer to the kids, you know, what role she eventually, if it changes, who she, like if she wants to be more of a mother figure in the kids'
So,
lives.
are we for lying or are we for telling the truth?
I'm going to say for lying.
In this
Lying?
case, for lying.
I'm going to say for lying.
Lying is good in this relationship context. But I want to know from y'all, what do you think? We'll do a call.
I got a wheel of people. I got 3 people. I'm going to spin it right now. Looks like it's Lover Girl. Sweet. I'm going to call
Lover
Lover Girl.
girl.
Lover girl. We're calling you
Right.
right now. Should she tell the truth or should she lie?
And we're calling you.
Here we go.
Hello, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, yes we can. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Very well, Lover girl. So what do you think? Should OP tell the truth to the family, tell the lie, or just totally distance from the family altogether?
I think, you know what, this one was a little bit, it's not really hard, but I think that lying is probably the best way to go for now. I think just
Steve
because of the way
lies.
I think you should. I really do, because with the way that they're reacting, as far as them heavily demanding OP, like which one's your quote real daughter, which one's the real grandkid. I feel like if OP were to have told them, especially before the child themselves knows that they're adopted, I think that can just cause a lot of issues. I mean, considering the vibe that I'm getting, I feel like they're going to end up treating the adopted daughter completely different from
Exactly.
OP's real or quote real daughter. I just
And
really
if they
don't
do the
think it
bait
would be
and
the best
switch,
idea.
If they do the bait and switch, maybe they'll develop a relationship with one of the daughters and like, oh, that's my real daughter, and then switch. Oh no, now I have to develop a relationship with the other daughter, and so they'll
And then
have
you're like,
equal.
actually, I lied again.
Yeah, yeah.
Bum,
You'll
bum,
never
bum.
know.
You'll never know.
Yeah. I think that the daughter needs to know first before. And I mean, I think OP needs to really put boundaries up with the family for now if they're being so like dead set on this mindset. I think that if the family does come around and they realize, their mindset is really harmful towards not only OP but the children, I think they can have a conversation then about, where their relationship can go as far as like them helping with the children and being involved in their lives. But for now, I think OP just needs to focus on the fact that she has 2 newborns. I mean, her and Anna are taking care of these children.
Mhm.
I think that needs to be her main priority rather than her parents
Totally.
and her family constantly hounding her on, which child is the real one.
Yeah.
And I think OP is doing a great job with that. I mean, I have one child myself being a single mom, and it's very hard.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine having 2 newborns at once, and she's doing great. I think that should be her main focus right now.
Yeah. And so, when you're saying like that should be the main focus, are you saying like get help from wherever you might need it?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously like stepping away from like family, I think you can develop a lot of really great relationships with people. I mean, I think I saw some comments too where it's like there are support groups for mothers who need help or just need someone to talk to. There are places you can seek out help besides this family who it seems like, they're really causing OP a lot of trouble right now. I think that would probably be her best bet.
So basically, don't give up the ground of die on the hill of not talking to the family because they're basically they're showing favoritism towards one of the kids, and don't really like accept their help because their help is coming with strings and like might lead to more craziness down the road, and instead search for friends and alternative routes where like maybe like support groups that could help with this situation, because you're thinking like there's too many strings with this familial support, so it's not even worth doing the bait and switch lie.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I think that the family will end up causing a lot more issues down the line. I think, like I said before, if they come to their senses and they have a conversation where it's like, we're so sorry about the way that we treated the situation, and we will forever treat these 2 children like they are our real grandchildren, like no matter whether they're adopted or not. I think then they can have a conversation as far as OP allowing them in their lives if she chooses to. But definitely finding support in other places would be her best bet for now.
Well, Lovergirl, thank you so much for sharing your perspective
Great
and
insights.
Yeah, thank
calling
you.
in. We appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys.
Have a good one.
See ya.
You
Bye. All right.
Yeah.
But hey, everyone, let us know.
Yeah.
Would you lie or would you not?
Yeah.
Put your answers in the comments below.
That's right.
And my vote was only in the circumstance that OP decides that she can't, but like money wise, distance. Like
Yeah.
she needs their help.
Like
Yeah.
if they're, I
Yeah.
think explore what Lovergirl said. Explore every other avenue.
Absolutely.
But if all of those avenues are shut down, then take the parental support and lie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is only up until you tell the truth to the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
that point,
only
everyone knows.
up until
Yeah.
that
And then
point.
do the switcheroo. But you know what? We're going to do a switcheroo with
What?
me and John, because Johnny Boy is going to read this next story.
Oh, snap. I just found out my stepmom hates me and my siblings because she rants about us on Reddit.
Oh.
She hates us because she hates us. That's what that sounds like. I'm really pissed off and want to vent. I even cried reading the thing she said, and I don't know what to do. I don't need any advice. I just want to vent. My father has been married to my stepmother for 5 years. He has been divorced from my mother since my younger brother was 2 years old, and there's no beef between them, and they have a great co-parenting relationship. By the way, this comes from Diligent Stan 3748 from the Best of Editor Update subreddit. So I have a 17-year-old sister, a 16-year-old brother, and I am 25. Then my father has a 3-year-old son with my stepmother. Crazy age gap. I found her Reddit account in a pretty random way. Since I'm only home on the weekends, I let her use my computer and she forgot to close her email. She doesn't post too much, but she comments too much. I was honestly going to close the email, but it caught my attention that all the replies were from a step-parent subreddit, so curiosity won me over. I know, it's not a good thing to do, and curiosity the cat, but
satisfaction brought it back.
The first thing I saw was her last post in which she detailed things about my life in a random subreddit, criticizing my decisions and even lying to get people to support her. Lying to strangers on the internet to get support is
wild.
Crazy.
Like, you don't even have to tell them in the first place.
She has posts on the site talking about how happy she feels when my siblings are not home. My sister adores her, but she has comments talking about how she can't wait for them to turn 18 and leave the house because she just wants to share the house with her family. My father and her toddler, it seems that she doesn't see us as her family.
That sucks.
Tell the dad or not?
I think absolutely. I think you go to the dad and you say, hey, I found this information. Feels a little bit inappropriate for her to, be talking about us like that. Can you have a little conversation with her?
So she has a lot of comments answering other people that it's totally okay not to love your stepchildren because they're not family. And it's okay to not consider them one. She has comments talking about how much it bothers her when my dad and brother have sleepovers. They just watch a series in the playroom and then go to sleep. That sounds like amazing father-son bonding.
Sounds like that. Yeah, he's a good dad.
Healthy relationship disgusts
She's like,
me.
it's so rude. Ugh.
As she is tired of hearing the laughter of a teenager.
Oh my God. Are you literally a joy hater?
Like literally Cruella DeVille over here. And can't wait until we all leave the house so my father can be with his real family. But what she hates the most is having to learn sign language for my little sister.
Oh, she's
I
so
hate using
evil.
my hands.
Literally
Sign language
evil.
is such a fun language to learn.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
honestly, what a like cool opportunity.
But would you rather like just type on Reddit how bad it is learning sign language than learning sign language with your hands?
All that time that you spend on Reddit, you could be learning sign language. You are rude.
Tell him.
That was sign language.
Thanks for letting us know.
No visual humor.
I think like you.
So it always seems strange to me that stepmom still struggles with sign language, but now I know that she never really put in the effort to learn. My sister always said that for many people, sign language is very difficult, so I never said anything. But now I know that she always found it stupid to learn how to communicate with my sister when my sister always tried to help her. I was too surprised by the hatred she has when my father spends time with me and my sister. Her jealousy towards us is so obvious that it disgusts me that there were so many people who told her how they feel the same way about their stepchildren. To the point of spicy things. What is going on here? My siblings are not problem children. They even love her very much. And what fills me with anger the most is that she is so fake in front of us. Do you know the number of times I offered to babysit my stepbrother so she and my dad could go on a date? All of the time she refused to let me take care of him. And now I saw comments that she left about how I am living at my father's house and I don't help her at all, only for people to respond saying that she should give her father an ultimatum to make me leave because I am too old to live with him as he has a new family.
She sucks.
She sucks. And it's like,
why do you suck, you know?
And honestly, if you have a problem with him living there, then
leave.
I mean, even bring it to the husband. I feel like she's doing this because she knows, and this is me inferring here.
Infer.
But I feel like she knows if she goes to the husband, to her husband, he's gonna be like,
those are my kids.
Those are my kids. This is my son. Like, yeah, he's older, but like, I want him to live here. And like,
Yeah.
I think it's his house. It's not super clear, but it's like, yeah, I want him to live here. This is what I want. And like, that's it.
I agree.
What are we talking about? I cook my food, do my laundry, share a room with my sister. I help my father pay the bills while she doesn't. Good point. And only come home on weekends because I'm doing police academy all through the week. I don't even care if I'm making it too obvious who I am.
Yeah, make it obvious because then you can have a all-out Reddit war with your stepmom.
That would be amazing. Like Reddit for Reddit post. Who gets the most upvotes? Who gets the most like? Honestly, give them to us. And we'll duke it out.
Yeah, we're gonna read both of your stories, and whoever's better has to leave. Gets to keep the house.
That actually is a great theme for an episode, like A versus B, like who, and it's like two people who like are basically kind of equal, and we like duke it out on who's the winner. You know what I mean? A 1v1, that would be fun.
We would also do like the tiers. You know, like the
tier list?
You have like these people fight, and then who goes to the next round.
Oh, a bracket?
A bracket.
A bracket would be fun. A tier.
Tournament.
You know, the people fight and they move. It was my father who told me to move back with him, so that way when I come back from the academy on Friday nights, it will be a shorter trip. So yeah, the dad literally was like, "No, come live with me. Don't live solo." She misinterprets my interactions as something spicy with my father, saying that it's not normal for me to sleep, nap, hug him, and that I should know my place. He is my father.
That's so weird.
What the hell is wrong with her?
Why
I'm
is
so
she
disgusted.
sexualizing their father-daughter relationship?
Absolutely insane.
Like,
absolutely insane.
I really don't understand the idea that you can't like cuddle with your family members.
It's like
what?
Understand that, and like, you know, people have different people, different cultures have different ways of like showing affection familially.
Yeah,
but
like,
that's
my
just,
family is super physically affectionate.
Yeah, it's such a sick, twisted way of viewing like their love,
complete familial love.
Yeah, as like a father child. Yeah. We do have some relevant comments here, but let's dive in a little bit deeper about what we talked about a second ago, which is the telling of the dad.
Tell the dad. Yeah, I think tell the dad about the Reddit post, and then tell the dad that she's, you know, spicing up all of these familial reactions in a really weird way, and you're feeling uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, I think like kind of just like put together all of the things that you've read that illustrate all the issues that you have and like the areas that you're like hurt or disturbed by.
Yeah.
And be like, I want you to read this and come to your own conclusions and like move forward from there.
And that's that.
That's basically it.
And hopefully he leaves her.
Hopefully he leaves her. There is the 3-year-old baby.
That's right.
We don't know if we haven't seen in this part of the story if he's like fully supporting her, kind of like what that dynamic looks like. Does that change anything?
I think it means that they have to have some sort of co-parenting dynamic.
Yes.
I don't think it necessarily means that they have to stay together, at least in the way that they are now, especially when she's disrespecting his other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I just don't really, I don't like what that implies for their parenting style or what she wants, with this 3-year-old. Like, is she not going to allow him to hug his own daughter?
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Yeah. And I think, too, like, he has had a successful co-parenting relationship with OP's biological mom.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, hey, he's done it before. He can do it again. He seems like, from the very short amount that we've read, it seems he's like, hey, come live with me. It'll be easier on your work life. He seems like he's spending really great quality time with his teenage children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he seems like a very supportive father.
Yeah, I think so.
Will probably make sure that his, toddler is looked after, set up for success, and all of that jazz. So I completely agree with you, Sophia.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hear that.
Well, stay hydrated, gang, because we're going to get into these relevant comments. Grumble Gal says this: show your father what she really thinks of you all. Because once you're all eventually out and she gets her wish, she's going to work double time to keep it that way and isolate him. Accurate Neck 6933 says, you won't get any inheritance. She'll make sure of it. Whoa, is there
an inheritance?
I mean,
did we learn that?
We haven't talked about it yet, but just like,
but if there was, she'd take it
in the like in the future.
Yeah,
like just like long term. Yeah. OP responds to that: I don't think my father has anything to inherit to us. I don't know if that's the way we say that, but I digress. We all lose in that. And then OP on why she's in the police academy. OP, I live in a third world country. Half of my colleagues are women in vulnerable situations that the only way out they found was to get into the police because here you can get free healthcare, education, and money. Women who have left their children to walk forward in the only way they found. You demonstrate your privilege by criticizing and being judgmental about someone just because of their work without knowing everything behind it all. And OP on if she has had a relationship with her stepmom and if they talked on a regular basis. So now it's like, okay, what is the dynamic between OP and the stepmom? Because that was mostly
outside of the Reddit.
Outside of the Reddit and like the other children and whatnot. OP says, honestly, I would have taken the time to sit down with her and chat about how she feels before I knew all of this. She's had years to adjust. I mean, like at least three years.
At
they
least
have a 3-year-old
and
toddler.
probably more. You know, you don't just have
Definitely
a baby
more.
immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Now I don't give a crap about the feelings of a person who says, I want to sleep with my own father.
Yeah.
My God, and that learning sign language is a waste of her time when my sister feels bad for not being able to communicate with her too much after years. Nothing justifies being jealous of a daughter with her father. Nothing justifies her comments. It's one thing to say you're stressed and another to make things up on the internet about your stepdaughter.
Exactly.
And we have an update.
Man, oh man.
We have an update.
Got an update.
So what do we conspirize? I think we have our plan.
Yeah.
What do we theorize is going to happen in this update?
I think that they're going to tell the dad and he's going to be like, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have a huge blowout fight.
Yep.
And the stepmom's going to be like, I hate your kids. And then she's going to run away and leave the country.
Yeah, I think she's gonna do something
crazy.
You know, like I don't know what it is. Usually I have like a specific let me think of one. I'm going to think of one.
About it.
I think that this stepmom is going to kidnap the baby. And then the dad is like, I'm going to have to like sue for custody.
Yeah.
And then eventually they go to court and they're like, ma'am, why did you steal the baby? And she's like, because I didn't want to learn sign language and because OP and the dad are like
conspiring against me.
All spicy and whatnot. And then the judge is going to be like, you suck.
Jail.
No custody. Jail.
No custody.
Straight to jail. That's what I'm predicting.
And Honeybee says stepmom will probably say OP made it up.
Ooh.
But you have the proof. You've got the Reddit post.
That's true. That probably save those.
Yeah, save those. Take
Screenshot
pictures.
those. Yes, good. Didn't even think about that. But guys, let's get into the updates. So, hi. I decided to delete the post because for now, I can't tell anyone what happened because I'll basically be locked up in the academy until Friday morning. In fact, I shouldn't even be using my cell phone right now. Someone with too much free time shared the situation in that sub of step parents to warn my stepmom. Oh,
you traitors!
I did not see that one coming. I have screenshots of everything, including a video showing that it is her email and showing the comments. If she sees that post, what will she do? Delete the account? I already have the proof. Nice try, mama.
Can't stop us now.
But I don't want my siblings to find out before I tell them. Oh, true. Although my siblings, that would be so bad.
They'd be like, stepmom
right?
hates us?
Like, and it's good for it to like come through OP.
Yeah.
And like have OP kind of like filter it. Although my siblings don't use Reddit or look at that kind of content. I'm going to post again in that sub when I talk about everything with my family. So I hope Redditors know how to keep a secret of the post for now. I know they won't. Ha ha.
I keep a secret. I won't tell anyone.
Yeah, we won't tell any. Right, chat?
Right,
Chat.
We won't tell anyone.
We won't tell anyone.
Let's keep it between us.
Yeah.
Between you and
me, and
218 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, YouTube,
also,
TikTok,
like,
Facebook,
yeah.
Spotify, all that stuff. But it's between
like
us.
135,000 people.
It's
but
between
no one else.
all there's just like a million of us, okay?
Yeah,
But we
small
all
million.
keep the secret together.
It's like a really tight million.
It doesn't escape the million.
No.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Being a stepmom is hard. Yes, it's one thing, but you're feeling like you're having a hard time. And another totally different thing is making a post saying that you hate it when your stepdaughter is around her father because she thinks that you're going to F him. The F? Hello?
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 What are we talking about here? It is not the same to say being a step parent is stressful than to say, honestly, learning sign language is unnecessary because when the girl turns 18, I will not see her again. It is a waste of time since she can read lips. Uh-oh.
I'm trying to remember
Talk that talk, Sophia.
It's, I think
Tell
it's
him.
Hands are moving.
Learn.
Whoa.
No,
Learn.
it's not. Something like that. Can't remember learn. What? That's so rude. I don't actually know that one.
That was
I
BS.
know
This
that
is
one.
cauliflower.
We're trying to say mean things, not
Cauliflower.
your favorite foods.
Yeah, I learned it when I was eating cauliflower.
The most Sophia thing ever, learning sign language for cauliflower while
Yeah.
making cauliflower.
Oh, this is cute. Cute. No,
That's funny.
What's the opposite of cute? Not
No.
ugly.
I think this is
Oh.
boring.
Okay. Why are we doing this?
I
don't
learned
know.
I learned things
Sign
today.
language? Yeah.
I learned things today.
You
So,
know.
sorry, audio listeners.
Yeah, it's visual.
We're talking about sign language and we're signing.
Hear
That's
the
learned.
wind from our hand movements. Also, some people complained about me hugging my dad. I also take a nap hugging my mother or my siblings. I'm sorry for having a family that loves me and that are not perverts who see a hug as something spicy.
Yeah.
There you go. Come on.
Sue me.
Sue me. Probably next week, I will be able to maybe give an update. The Academy keeps me working almost all day long, and we do have some relevant comments, which we're going to dive right into. Elegant Crab 7500 says, "Oh, honey, my heart breaks for you. You do sound, though, very mature and responsible. I have helped my sister raise my niece, who's now 23 and is totally alienated from her dad, who left my sister for his now wife when my niece was only 10 months old, and step family because her stepmom is much like yours, but has done far worse things, but then in a narcissistic way, blamed it on my sister and I. Why'd you break your family apart and force me to run away and take the kids and never talk to you again? Why?
Why would you do that?
Why?
Ay.
My niece acts very tough and nonchalant about it, but a good few months ago, we were watching Hope Floats, and she just burst into tears sobbing, "Why doesn't dad love me? What did I do wrong?" Oh! There's no perfect outcome for this, sadly, but I do feel that she needs to know that you know. So does your biological mom and your siblings. If possible, do it in a calm, factual way that protects your integrity. From my experience, do not respond and or mirror or act like her. And just quickly to pause, good point too, because we were saying, tell the dad, but maybe it's like, do we tell everyone at once just so she doesn't catch wind and be able to,
Well, I think she's already been warned.
the stepmom?
The Reddit community warned her.
Well, the Reddit community posted it there to, I guess they,
So I feel like you gotta run to the dad.
I
Get that
could be
information
wrong
out
on
there.
this, but OP's posting was kind of like paraphrasing what the stepmom has said, but I don't know that the actual account, like a handle or anything of a stepmom has been found. So they might have like reposted it just in general, like, hey, hopefully the stepmom sees this.
Which is so weird.
Right. That was my understanding.
Yeah.
Although it is totally possible that they did have the handle and did like tag or personal message or whatever. But I think far, I'm assuming the stepmom hasn't actually seen it yet, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong.
I think I would talk to the dad first.
Dad first and then everyone else.
Yeah, and then family meeting.
Yeah, because like honestly, worst case scenario, like number one, this is his wife. So it's like good to like sit him down and kind of like come up with a game plan first. And you're kind of like managing everyone's reactions if it's in a group scenario versus like being able to like do one-on-one with like the man who is married to her, who has like the most direct ties.
Most knowledge of it.
Always maintain dignity and equilibrium in spite of what people here might say. Yeah, because we always know Reddit to be the ones that are like, just go fully nuclear and
just go scorched earth.
Go to her bosses and show this stuff and steal her baby.
Break into her bank account.
Yeah, do it, guys. As fun as those options sound, it's just not the move.
It's just not the move.
Always maintain the upper hand. My sister and I did not, and sadly reacted a lot out of what my niece's stepmom did with rage. She, as any good narcissist would do, in turn, turned this against us.
This was all the comment.
This was the comment. So
Yes.
basically it was like, they were like, hey, the commenter was like, hey, learn from my mistake. If you fight fire with fire, it's just going to be more fire.
More fire everywhere.
We're going to burn down the house.
Yeah.
Be smart and handle it with dignity, because then that way you kind of always maintain.
You are on the high ground.
Yes, you are on the high ground. So we have an update. Hi. For now, I'm going to post this little update here since I haven't spoken to my father yet, but I spoke with my siblings and my mom, biological mom, that is. I told my dad that I was staying at a friend's house when I left the academy, but I actually went to my mom's house and told her everything. She doesn't even know what Reddit is. The site isn't used too much here. But I translated the comments and posts for her, and I showed her the videos, and my mom is furious.
Yes.
Let's
Your mom's on
go.
the right side.
I explained to her that in the comments, BM is Madre Biologica. I was confused about it too the first time I read that. Also with stepmother. Also baby mama. So
Baby mama.
it works out both ways. So my stepmom also made comments and posts complaining about my mother, being that they have always had a cordial treatment and relationship. So she also talked crap about OP's mom and them having like a
even though they
co-parenting
had
dynamic.
a kind of seemingly okay relationship.
Mhm.
Damn.
It was all a lie.
Gloves are off.
The gloves are off. But still, my stepmother was lying, saying that my mother was troublesome. No one in the comments said anything. Everyone supported her, and they recommended that she move far away with her legal family, far away from the problematic baby mother and kids. Ouch. First, we told my brother, who was also upset, and said that she was a fake, but that he has seen her ignore my sister and pretend that she does not see or hear her a lot of times.
So mean.
Dude, that's just so
incredibly mean.
like it's
and
like evil.
cruel. Yeah.
It's cruel. Cruel is the right word.
Yeah.
Cruel is the right word.
So like for someone who already has like, you know, a different level of communication, has to communicate differently.
Exactly.
And then to actively ignore them?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
He explained that, like me, it also seems strange to him that stepmom has not learned sign language. My siblings spend a lot of time at my father's house, just like English and Spanish. Maybe you got something in your nose. Sign language is much easier to learn if you live with someone who uses it every day.
Exactly. If you're
100%.
around someone who actively is using sign language, you should pick up some stuff.
Absolutely. Therefore, it is strange that my stepmother doesn't use it. He said that even my father has offered to pay for her classes, but she says she doesn't have the time.
Come on, you got some time.
There's
no way that you don't. You make the time for people who are in your family, who your husband loves.
This is supposed to be a healthy stepchild parent relationship.
Yeah.
Is you see them as your children.
Yes.
Maybe there's some scenarios where it doesn't quite click, but they keep it cordial or whatever. I understand it can get complicated with that, but like the fact that you wouldn't learn sign language is crazy. If anything, do it for the husband.
Yeah.
If anything.
Exactly.
We asked him if he noticed any other behavior of that kind, and he said that stepmother doesn't let him take care of our younger brother, which she also does with me, but curiously, she does let our sister take care of him, so I don't understand that part. Other than that, she's never treated him badly or anything like that. At the time of telling my sister, she was the most hurt. She cried, especially because of stepmother's comments towards me, calling me an or. It's kind of ironic how the comments towards her affected me and the comments towards me affected her. Haha. They're both, they feel for each other.
Yeah.
They're more concerned about the other person, which is sweet. Something that my sister noticed that I didn't is that almost all of stepmother's comments are criticizing me, my sister, and even my mother. But for my brother, she only criticized the sleepovers or when he comes back late from being with friends. She also criticized me and my sister's clothes, made up things about my life, confessed that she hates it when we hug our father. Ugh. Says we're too clingy. She talked badly about my mother, etc., etc.
It all comes back to jealousy. It all her saying that it's weird that you and your father are physically affectionate. It's all this weird, misplaced jealousy towards familial relationships.
And maybe Sophia, do I sense a whiff of some internalized misogyny?
I believe you do.
Ooh,
I believe there is a dash of internalized misogyny in this woman.
Essence.
If you will.
My goodness. My sister said it's sexist. What can we say? We're professionals. And maybe she's got some mental problems, which low-key, She absolutely might.
Yeah.
My sister said she always believed stepmother didn't really hear her and she maybe wasn't speaking well and didn't understand. My sister's greatest pride is being able to pronounce some words no matter how short they are or if they sound like noise to some other people. We understand her, but stepmother made her feel insecure every time she ignored her.
I hate this woman.
Throw this woman
Into the Oort cloud.
into the Oort cloud. Where's the Oort cloud from? Is that from like something or is it sciencey?
It's sciencey.
It's sciencey.
Yeah. So of level, we have tiers. So we have the moon.
Yep.
Which is like that's like interim. Think about it. Maybe they'll come back, do a little return trip. Then we have the sun, which is like, we want you to burn to a crisp. And then the Oort cloud, which is like, you have to stay and think about your actions forever. And you're stuck in darkness. And then we have a black hole, which is where you turn into a spaghetti.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I'm here for it.
And you don't exist.
Could we somehow give them the stepmom all of them?
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
Back to back.
I know that my sister justified that by believing that it was her mistake and that my stepmother made an effort to learn, but it was simply more difficult for her. But now we know that no, she was never interested in learning. I'm getting mad again as I write this. Sorry. My mother said that she was going to talk to both of them, mainly because even though it's an anonymous site, stepmother's way of expressing herself is sick, and she's not going to let my siblings be around someone like that.
Yes. Put your foot down, mama.
Great point. What a negative household to be like living in.
Yeah.
Oh, but she's venting. Being a stepmom is lonely. I've received comments like that. It's not the same to say I feel lonely and stressed than to say my stepdaughter behaves like a sloot.
Yeah. That is different.
Completely different. Just because me and my minor sister use a bikini for the pool.
That's what you use in the pool.
No, you gotta wear a t-shirt, a one piece, and probably like those skirts that go down to your ankles.
Why are you not wrapped in a down blanket right now? Why are
Put
you
a paper
not?
bag over your head.
Yeah, just wrap yourself up in cloth. Like a
mummify yourself.
Like mummify yourself. Be a mummy or get out of my face.
Get out of the pool.
Be a mummy or I'm not your mommy.
Whoa.
And there you have it.
There you have it, folks. That's it.
John would be a great
Case
mom.
closed. We can walk away right now. With lies, with complaints we never even heard before. It's all just so messed up. We've arranged that we're going to tell our father all together and show him everything. So we're probably going to tell him tomorrow because I need to leave to the academy on Monday, which now I kind of like to tell everyone else and then
yeah, I guess it worked out that way.
I guess it worked out. There's multiple good paths
Multiple
that can be
ways.
taken here. My stepmother's account is not deleted. It's crazy how she makes things up to get approval from strangers. At this point, I don't even know if she's crazy or a mythomaniac.
Mythomaniac.
Can we look that up? Yeah, I was about to say I haven't.
Loves to tell myths.
Is a
untrue
myth
stories.
maker?
Mythomaniac.
Is maniacing on all these myths?
Mythomaniac referred to someone who was obsessed or with or passionate about myths before it was applied to individuals affected with or exhibiting mythomania.
Excessive or abnormal propensity for lying and exaggerating.
Okay, you want to produce? You want to come back here and produce? I comment.
Okay. Jeez. Maybe I knew that off the top of my head.
No, I saw you look down at your phone.
Yeah, I was texting.
Sure.
I was sending a text.
She was texting a mythomaniac,
Yeah.
asking them the definition.
I was like, hey, what's the definition? What's that thing you have where you lie a bunch?
Anyways, that's what it is.
Prince X says, holy F, as the husband, I would be ducking pissed. You implied I would want to F my child. Weirdo.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
We're doing
They're
great.
cracking.
Great.
Absolutely.
John's shoving
cracking.
nuts in his mouth,
Yeah.
as he loves to do.
Sanita Thomas says, there's no way the husband can stay with her if he sees this. She's called him a PDF file. Pretty much called his children stupid and ors, and he married her. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like not even the word. I think if they went to him, they're like, not only is he treating, us bad, your kids, but also she's accusing you of things too, which is the real kicker. Heliana Min says, the amount of insecurity is crazy. So true.
Are we going to read what's happening?
We're going to read. I'm sorry. I just needed a few fistfuls of nuts in my mouth.
Needed to fist some nuts.
I needed
Riley.
to fist some nuts, dude.
Well, you can do that on your own time.
So I would like to go back to her email since the password is saved, but I don't know if she will receive a notification of that because this time I closed the account. Closed her account or closed, we're not sure. But we do have yet another update. We're about halfway through.
Oh, wow.
And we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, go for it.
We're going to get after it. So, and this is like, I think a day later. We talked to my father over the weekend. For now, he is staying at my mother's house. It is a complicated situation since in the middle of everything is my half-sibling too, the toddler. Remember? During the weekend, I went to my father's house, and the first thing I did was tell my stepmom separately that I've seen a Reddit account, and I'm going to talk about it with my dad.
Let's go.
Oh.
Got him. She told me that I can't condemn her for something she uses as an intimate diary, but I told her that it's not a diary. It's a social network where she makes her problems and lies public.
That's actually what I refer to Oki Storytime as. It's my intimate diary between me and 1 million people.
Yeah, it do be feeling like that, though.
If I tell you something, you can't tell anybody.
Right? It's just in our million people friend group. That is low-key what it feels like. So if someone other than me discovered her account, then what was going to happen? Were they going to believe all the things she invented? If her identity was revealed on that account by someone else, I would have too many problems and could have even been kicked out of the academy. Whoa. OP losing her job for stepmom's craziness. Again, there's a big difference between saying I'm stressed and my stepdaughter behaves like sleuths around their father.
It'd be kind of funny if the stepmom was like, no, I'm just doing kind of like a flash fiction challenge.
Dude.
This is all just part of my writing practice.
Stop.
I'm doing the artist way writing challenge.
No. I simply told her that my mother and sister also know and would come to talk about it too. She, for obvious reasons, just went to lock herself in her room, not wanting to talk to me. Is it obvious that she would do that? I guess because she's a maniac. Once we talked to my father, I showed him most of the posts and comments. There were so many crazy comments that I think it would take me too long to read them all because they were just so long. She's the kind of person who comments the biography of their lives in the posts of other people. So my father got angry. My stepmother never expressed having a single problem with us like that. The situation would be different if we knew what she thinks about us. My father went to look for stepmom, who refused to talk about it and was mostly angry with me violating her privacy. Might I remind you yet again, violating her privacy on a public social network of which any human anywhere could publicly access it. Don't even need an account.
Yeah. If someone
For
posts
Pete's
on
sake.
if someone like comments on your Instagram post, you can't be like, how dare you do that?
My
That was
diary.
private.
Oh.
It's a private photo.
Come on. My father told her that she's insane for thinking that my sister and I spicily provoked him, that he can't believe the way she talks about my sister and the happiness she expresses every time my sister goes to the hospital and is not home. Every time, the happiness she expresses every time she goes to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Brother, sister, mother, what are you talking about? How she expresses to be counting the days until my siblings stop coming back to the house forever. My father told her that she knew he is a father and that he would never leave us aside. She made her decision, and even so, instead of talking about her problems, she decided to create an account to play at being a victim. A victim. She said she needs a place to vent, but he told her that venting is not the same as telling lies. Venting is not the same as hating your stepdaughters and saying horrible things about them, and she could have spoken about it and not just lied. They argued a lot, but it didn't get anywhere because she just kept defending herself, and my father only told her that it was over.
Oh, stand on business.
There we go. Bye bye,
W Dad.
stepmommy. Bye bye. No more washing machines for you. My mother told my father that she is going to let my sister and brother be around a woman who is clearly mentally unstable because no normal person thinks like that. Agreed. After arguing too much and even trying to make stepmother understand what she did is wrong, she just justified herself every single time. My father went with us and told her that he is going to come back just to see my brother every day, but that he no longer trusts her and never saw that side of her. She lied for so many years. Hopefully he sues for custody. We're going to see in these upcoming updates. Didn't really go as I expected. I think at least she hoped she could apologize, but I think she doesn't even think that she was in the wrong. In her mind, everything was totally justified because being a stepmom is difficult. It's hard, guys. And I need to be able to vent all my feelings by
You
lying.
suck!
You suck! You suck! But nothing justifies her being so cruel and poisonous. But yeah, that's what happened. I think it's hurtful to know someone can hide that much darkness inside themselves. I wasn't close with her, but I liked her to the point of sharing my clothes and things with her. So I also feel sad about it, mostly for my dad. Okay, here we go. There is an ending bit in Spanish, and thankfully it's translated. But you know what? I'm gonna read it in Spanish anyways, and then we're gonna get to the translation.
way.
I'm gonna try it.
Okay, you try it.
Me gustaría simplemente decir que él está de mente, pero quiero que eso diera espacio a justificar su comentario. Él es simplemente un víbora de dos cabezas.
Can I read it now?
Oh, go ahead.
Wait, no, come on, just let me read it, please.
No, it was John's turn, and he
But
did it. You're just trying to impress people, and you're very smart, and you're awesome, and we know.
So we're gonna read the translation.
I don't want to read this translation.
I would like to just say that she is insane, but I think that would give her room to justify her behavior. She is simply a two-headed viper. Ooh, I like that. And we got some relevant comments. Not So Religious now says, is her account still up or did she delete everything? She's absolutely insane and a narcissist if she can't see what she did was wrong. I hope it all works out for you guys. Stay strong. OP, the last time I looked, it was still there. I have her email password saved on my computer, so if she doesn't delete it, I'll tell my sister to do it for me. Some people told me that they have recognized some of her comments, so yes, I will delete the account if she doesn't. Don't Kill the Messenger 1 says, wow, just wow. You think you know someone, then 1 second, bam! I'm so sorry for you and your family that are dealing with this. The stepmother is off her rocker. Does she need constant attention and approval? She needs therapy. And most likely the whole family does, because this is a traumatic event and major trust issues are now forming. Stay well and stay strong, OP.
Honestly, I feel like therapy would really help her, because then she gets someone who just has to listen to her all day long.
Right? She gets real life comments.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, another thing that I have is, do you think this is like her alter ego? Because some people enter an alter ego once they are online commenting and like trolling and stuff like that.
So she's like taking from her real life, but she almost has this like knowingly fake persona. And I mean,
if that were true, then she would have said that. But her excuse was not, that this is like, oh, this is fictionalized, nothing on internet is real, blah, blah, blah. But it was like, no, this is how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like she's like, I feel like she wants the comments to feel as real as possible, because she also knows she's lying. So it's like, okay, this is me, this is what's actually happening to me. Therefore, the comments of support feel more real to her through it all, I would guess. But listen, with this stepmom, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
I ain't putting nothing past her. But guys, we have yet another update.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is about a month later. Month later. Yeah, 1 month later here. Hello! It's been a little while and I honestly forgot to make an update. Not many things have happened, but I just want to update for people who were worried. My younger brother has been visiting us. Our father still lives at my mother's house. Luckily, my stepmom lets my dad bring him home some days of the week and on weekends. I deleted her account weeks ago.
Nice.
It's gone. And she didn't tell me anything about it, or if she saw any TikToks or posts about it. Maybe she's now afraid to use Reddit or something like that, which is like kind of amazing. Like the way that she would like vent and lie is kind of gone, which is awesome.
You look so satisfied right now.
She's full. There we go. I only deleted the post, but there were too many comments, and I honestly didn't want to waste my time deleting them one by one. I'm not sure if comments are automatically deleted with the account as well. Does it? It just says like deleted and then the comment,
Moderators usually delete comments.
If
yeah.
a post is deleted, it'll say deleted, but the comments just say.
The comments and posts, yeah. I'm not going to talk too much about her and my father's relationship, but she continues to deny that she did anything wrong and has a very misogynistic way of thinking about women and apparently does not intend to change her way of thinking. It's too crazy how now we know her dark side. At the same time, she's still her with my little brother and even my father. So this kind of like more better loving, like it seems that before OP didn't fully understand. She's like, oh, I didn't even realize that she didn't want to learn sign languages and was like dismissing, you know, the little sister that uses sign language and whatnot. Manipulative. My father is separated from her for now, but because he doesn't have the money to pay for the divorce, she said if they don't come back together, she will not let me enter her house after what I did. So my father decided to stop trying with her. After what OP did, how about we talk about what you did? And OP literally did nothing but share what you said.
Yeah. Like you said it. You can't get mad at people for repeating what you said. Like if you can't stand by what you said, then you shouldn't have said it.
It's literally the same as like this is almost exactly what it is, but you write down stuff that you say about everyone.
Yeah.
OP takes a piece of paper, walks over, and hands it.
Yeah.
That's literally what OP did.
It's kind of like you wrote down all of these nasty things and then you posted it like a lost dog sign. And then you're like, what? That was private.
Yeah, hey, I wanted people to take the little tabbies so they could call the number for the lost dog.
You did the Martin Luther thing where he posts the 99, I don't know.
95 thesis.
95 thesis.
To become a Lutheran church.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1% memory of what that is. Heck yeah. I have no idea what legal arrangement they have on the house or what will happen when they divorce, but I guess my father is going to leave the house to her. Ooh, that seems not fair. And he's going to find another place to rent in order for my younger brother to suffer as little stress as possible.
Suffer as little stress as possible.
That, like, the line was perfectly separated in our reading app.
I want the little brother to suffer.
As little as possible. Love that. From a separation. For a toddler, moving out is a lot of anxiety, absolutely. So it's better for him to stay comfortable in his place, which now that makes sense. He's giving her the house for the benefit of his 3-year-old son, which I get that. I get that. I wouldn't have any problem with that, and neither would my siblings. I prefer my brother have a home and suffer as little as possible from the separation. So yes, that's happened. I'm surprised that a month has passed. I feel like it's been 7 years, but these kinds of serious processes last months, so nothing interesting or anything like that has happened. For now, I'm glad my little brother can be with us, and we have another update from 1.5 months later. But Sophia, let's talk. First of all, the stepmother is as cold as this room now, and do you need a blanket?
No, I've got this.
The apron is serving as a blanket.
It's just going to be in the episode now, I suppose.
I love that.
And they're going to be like, what interesting outfit you have.
I love that we just have
I'm wearing little overalls.
A like cloth overalls.
Cloth overalls. You know how it goes.
Let's talk about it a little bit before we get into this next update. So, making all the right decisions with it here. Do we have any disagreements on how?
No, I think that I'm glad that he left the stepmom, and the stepmom is getting at it. It seems like they're trying to work out the co-parenting thing.
Yeah. That seems to be going okay. It's like, hey, he's stepmom is letting him take the baby. He's giving her the house. So there seems to be a budding, functional co-parenting relationship.
I think so. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah, they handled it. I think everyone
handled it as well as possible.
Yeah, obviously everyone except for stepmom, but
except for the stepmom who handled everything terribly.
Exactly.
And should go to the Oort Cloud.
Oort Cloud.
Real quick, pause. A lot of people suggested that Sophia read Spanish. I found her a beautiful poem to read.
What? I wanted to read the one that John read.
This one's better.
Okay. Hay besos que pronuncian por sí solos la sentencia de amor condenatoria. Hay besos que se dan con la mirada. Hay besos que se dan con la memoria. There you go.
What's the English translation?
There are kisses that announce for themselves the sentence of condemnatory love. There are kisses given with a glance. There are kisses given by memory.
That's sweet.
That's
Thank you, Riley.
I like it. I like it. You crushed it. Guys, claps in the chat.
Whatever.
Claps in the chat.
I wanted you to speak something beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
It was great. I loved it. All right. Are we ready for this?
ready
after that
now.
beautiful
Ready
reading,
now.
this disgusting update.
Woo!
So, 1.5 months later, Hello. It's been a while since I last posted here. OP always says that.
Yeah. You're stop like why? You know what? You know what I want
What?
for all Reddit stories. I don't want you to say, "Oh, I'm so surprised that so many people liked this." No. Oh, it's been so long. No. Just get to the story.
Just get to it.
Just get to it. Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice that everyone gave me the award. No.
How about this one? I just wanted to give one last update before leaving this for a few months.
No. No.
Since things
give me the story.
Since things like divorces take a lot of time, a long process, much more so when minors are involved, and we're not talking Cole. If my father and stepmother agree on everything, the divorce process can be finished in 3 months. Man, but if not, can last up to a year. It all depends on them. Yeah, dude, divorces are crazy. This will probably be a pretty boring update, but I want to reassure people who are worried about me and my sibling. My father has the screenshots of everything, even the video of me entering her stepmom's account from her email on my computer. I don't think it will do much good during the divorce since the internet laws are a gray area, but it's always better for him to have that just in case. Needless to say, stepmom...
I liked Kimberly Fine. Somewhere in the world, Sophia just got a man pregnant seahorse style. my poem?
That's hilarious. Dude, Kimberly Fine with the great comments.
Man, oh man.
Needless to say, stepmom will be in maybe 3 months if everything goes well. Officially, only my little brother's mother and no longer my stepmother. Luckily, she lets my little brother come to my mother's house and spend time with my father and us as always. He comes almost every day of the week. By the way, we come every weekday to the live stream. If you just tap her profile, you can join it. Segue achieved.
By the way, you can come every day of the week.
Listen, Sophia, sometimes word choices aren't my strongest suit. Okay.
Come on.
Anyways, back to the story. My father's going to leave the house to her, so the divorce will be the least stressful for my little brother. At one point, my father wanted to ask her to let me stay there on the weekends when I come back from the academy, but I told him not to do that. Honestly, I'm afraid to wake up and find her on the end of my bed looking at me like misery. Not sure what that means. I don't want to share a house with her at all. I know what that means. The only and last time I had a conversation with stepmother again, I asked her if she wasn't ashamed of anything, and she totally ignored me.
Are you not embarrassed?
Not embarrassed. I think the most person affected by this was my sister. She feels she has suffered discrimination from our stepmother, and honestly, I believe her. Me too.
Me too.
My sister has told us about some situations that she has let go of, but now realizes they were more micro-discriminatory behaviors against her. Although they were not things like making fun of her in front of her face, they were microaggressions that we often decide to ignore, but they are done with malice.
All the stuff against the sister.
Against the sister. Correct, Amundo. For example, my brother said that my stepmother once said that my father's sons salen bien del horno.
Yeah, good. To leave, well, salir is to leave, I think.
Maybe we'll get the explanation here.
I don't know.
At the time he took it, yeah, could we actually look that up real quick, Riley?
Del horno.
They will come out well from the oven.
Oh.
Oh, little baby bacon in the metaphorical oven of pregnancy.
Oh,
like a bun in the oven. At the time, he took it as a random comment. Maybe we are overthinking, but he now thinks it was something with a double intention towards me and my sister. Like, my baby came out of the oven, my oven, but these two, like saying that we didn't come out well. Again, things we like to ignore and think, nah, it's just a random
She can't
comment.
mean it that way.
She's never apologized. She has the kind of mentality that the husband is only the wife's man and the partner comes before the children, which in my opinion is BS because she's only jealous of me and my sister. Imagine being jealous of your husband's daughters. It's stupid. Stepmother strongly believes that she didn't do anything wrong except not to have written that in a secret diary. At least she now admits that. Maybe in 10 years, she'll realize everything else. My father, for obvious reasons, has gotten tired of trying to talk to her in a mature way. So they're going to divorce, and I guess she expected it because she didn't make any fuss nor anything like that. Divorces are long and an expensive process. So for now, my parents and stepmom too at least she's a good mother to her own son, are focusing on not letting my young brother feel those chaotic vibes, and my parents are taking care to not let my sister feel too bad either. They will go for joint custody since my father could not take care of my little brother 24/7 because of his work. And anyways, they would not give it to him since he does not have a house or all the things that the court asked for, I guess, to have full custody. Because he did give her the house that they were living in. I think the least affected by all of this is my other brother, who is in dad, she's a B, just find another girlfriend mode. But I guess that's just how teenagers
So
are.
just move on.
Just
dude,
move
just
on,
hit the
brother.
gym, bro. Forget
Yeah.
about her.
Just
Come
go to the
on.
rock climbing gym. You'll find someone else.
Climb the hate away, brother. Anyways, there were people who found some of the posts or even comments, which surprised me. Lol. I've also been getting harassment from people who, from that sub, I guess like the stepmom, the evil stepmom
Yeah,
sub.
the evil stepmom has sent her minions to
Dude.
attack OP.
Right? But know that I've already deleted the account. Congratulations for those who found the account.
Man.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Man, oh man.
You know,
Some people are just wild.
I think it's a horrible situation, but
Yeah.
thank God stepmom got exposed not a day later than she already was.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's good that you're, like, obviously bad situation, but it seems
Yep.
like your whole family kind of stepped up and supported everyone and stuff, and your
Yes.
dad didn't take any bad behavior. He was like, you know what, we're gone.
We've seen many a time where the dad is like, no, this is my wife. And
My wife.
You know, no, there was no crazy maniacs except for her. But guys, if you at least love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.